Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Backfire Simsport TV. And welcome back after a 3-week break to the Simability V8ESC Season 14, rounds 11 and 12 from the fantastic Long Beach. I'm Clyde Whiting, and as usual, in the booth with me and doing your cameras, it's Mr. Pete Bingham. Good evening. Okay, so Long Beach, it's somewhere in California, I believe. Just a tad under 2 miles, and it's wall to wall with walls. It's one of those tracks for me that I love watching racing on, but hate racing myself. Probably because I'm prone to the odd mistake, and I think this is possibly one of the most unforgiving tracks you can possibly find. And even a minor error, I'm just watching Stacey Boyd make one, leads to a quick meeting with the wall. Usually at least a little bit of damage on your car, and yeah, it's a really tricky track. It's not easy to overtake on. It's not easy to get into a rhythm. There's no real places on the track where you can, rest, so to speak. It's just full-on concentration, and we've got 2 races from here tonight. We've got the 30-minute sprint race, and we've got the 60-minute feature race. So, all in all, and if you add the 15-minute qualification into that as well, we're well over an hour and a half of total concentration for these drivers tonight. Now, we are a bit short on numbers. There's a couple of people with injuries. There's at least one person with a family drama going on. There's people watching eclipses in America, and there's also people are frightened of Long Beach. We'll just get that out there right away. So yeah, bit short on numbers, but don't worry folks, the racing will be fantastic. It always is. It doesn't matter if we've got 8 cars on the grid or 30 cars on the grid. These cars, these drivers, and add to it this track is going to make for some fantastic racing. Now, earlier on, I was looking back at the last time we raced here. Now, we're in season 14. Bear in mind we have 2 seasons per year. The last time we raced here was back in season 10, and Tony Kloosterman took away a double sprint and feature win. Unfortunately, he's not with us tonight, so he's not going to be able to remain the V8ESC King of Long Beach. Somebody else will walk away with that crown tonight. Last time out, let's have a look at that. So we had an endurance round at Sandown. Simon Trendle took away the win, with Alex Sevillano Lado in second and Johnny Brandon in third. That all leads us to the following positions. Now, drop scores are in effect now as we are over halfway through the season. Simon Trendle, 2-time champion, and the last 2 championships have been won by Simon, leads the way again on 1,480 points. Johnny Brandon is in second with 1,349, and Bob Woodhouse is third with 1,183. Now, all 3 of those drivers are with us tonight. The next 3 drivers, Victor Tanaka, Tony Kloosterman and Jamie Wilson, are not with us. So a fantastic opportunity for Ant Woodward and Vincent Skilbeck and Bram Dubois and Rob Venn and the list goes on, to jump up a few places by scoring some decent points. Into the team standings, and we have nothing because I can't get there. There we go. Team Chimera currently lead the way with 2,824 points. NQR Europe second with 2,517, and NQR North America in third with 2,204 points. Driver of the meeting, always close. Victor Tanaka currently leads the way with 3 points. Bram Dubois on 2. And then we have, I'm going to say it, my favourite word, a plethora of drivers on 1 point. In the Safe Driver Award, at the moment, we can ignore Kenzie Newhoff and we can ignore Jack Wells because they haven't done enough races. So, in effect, Bob Woodhouse is leading that with Simon Trendle second and Johnny Brandon in third. And in the Fred Bingham Forever Forward Award, Simon Trendle leads the way with 36, Rob Venn is second with 30, and Johnny Brandon is third with 24. So everybody's up to date. Qualifying is underway. Long Beach for you, Pete? Good memories, bad memories?
Want to take myself off mute. I like it here. The cars that I've driven here, I've driven the V8s here. I wasn't terribly good. No surprises there. Everybody's stunned with shock at that one. The GT3s and TCRs that I've driven around here, I've done all right in, to be fair. I do okay with the old ones because I'm terrified of smashing the car up. You're going to say, can I cast your mind back to Bathurst, aren't you?
No, I wouldn't ever mention that.
Repeatedly for the last 6 years. No, of course you wouldn't. But I sometimes prefer them. And this one I seem to do all right at, funnily enough. Very strange, seeing as you'd think I'd just write the car off on the first lap. And I'm not saying that that's not been the case, but yeah, I like Long Beach. It's like an untamed version of Belle Isle, really, isn't it? Because there's some corners on here that you just think, why on earth did you design that into it? Particularly that last hairpin at the end and the sequence that leads up to it. It's just a recipe for disaster, even for the finest of drivers.
Yeah, and we've seen it all around here, haven't we? We've seen block tracks, we've seen people parked on the fountain, you know, the list goes on. My first ever race round here, back when it was a tech track and it looked really funky, was in an old, I don't know, was it GT1, something like that. Mm-hmm. And I did really well. Right. And you know, the car had loads of grip, and I think in the same season, or maybe the following season, we did the tech track as it was then in V8s, and it was just a total different ball game. The car wouldn't stick, it wouldn't point in the direction I wanted it to point in, it wouldn't accelerate, it wouldn't turn, it wouldn't brake, and I think at that point I totally fell out of love with this track, from a driving point of view anyway. Mm-hmm. Obviously since then, iRacing took it on themselves to finish it visually. And it does now look stunning. You know, there's a lot of detail, and not that you really. I think one thing I found a bit strange was when it was a tech track and there was lots of like weird lines and polygons and things like that instead of people and stands and buildings and trees. You didn't notice that when you was driving because it was like 100% concentration 100% of the time. Yeah. But watching races on it was just like, you know, what is this? Is this like Formula 1 78 or something? Yeah. But now it just looks amazing.
Yeah, it's a stunning track. I mean, you look at some of the details just on the tarmac. and they've rendered it beautifully, haven't they? And the way that the tyre model and the grip model works now, I think the cars feel even more realistic. There are still a number of places that this track will absolutely kill you, and that's the right thing to have, isn't it? It's real world stuff. If I remember rightly, though, Clyde, there was an incident at the fountain last time we drove V8s here, where everybody piled on top of one another, if you remember.
Yeah, I think he was on the bottom, wasn't you?
I was in it. Definitely in it, and yeah, it took everybody a while to get out of it, to be honest.
Yeah, although I will have the yellow flag handy just in case.
Yeah, that's wise. Of course, this being a walled track, folks, it's not like on what we, in inverted commas, would call a normal track where you've got grass to the side of the track. If they start to crash in big numbers here and it blocks the track, we will have a caution. The race control will call a full course caution, and everybody will organise themselves behind the pace car. It gives drivers time to go and repair their cars. And it's usually a lap one thing. We had the same thing at Belle Isle this year, didn't we, Clyde?
We did, yes. This is known as an anti-Tilker track.
Yes. Yeah, where death is around every corner, literally every corner. Is Stacey in a different colour car?
Yes.
Yeah, it's quite nice.
Stacey has switched from Holden, Vauxhall, General Motors, whatever you want to call it, to Ford.
Right, okay. I mean, in terms of setup and stuff, it doesn't make a blind bit of difference, does it? But if you prefer the look or the bubbles on the bonnet like we used to on the old Falcon, Clyde, do you remember that? We used to steer using the bonnet bubble to line up with the apex to the corner.
Exactly, and it was great. That was literally the only reason that the Ford worked for me.
Yeah.
And then I just stuck with it through the different variations.
Yeah, right. Well, let's jump on board because that's the wrong button to press. This is the right button to press. We went round earlier with Bob Woodhouse. We're on board with Simon Trendle now. He's currently provisionally third. Braking point is after that red strip there, and then you took this in blind, really. Keep off that curb, it'll punt you into the wall on the right. Lots of heavy braking to get to second gear, and then even first, possibly, to get through here. No, second it is. Close to the wall again on the right hand side, and then hug the left hand wall to get the best possible turning angle up and over the crest of the hill here, over to the right hand side of the track and follow the wall round. You've got a left hand turn coming up, hard to spot this one because the walls blend together, and then from right to left very quickly to get your car over for this next 90-degree right-hander. Lots and lots of extra track there, you don't get punished for it. On the gas, lots of gas. If you've got a tow, brilliant. If you haven't, make sure you brake the one behind you, because this is a heavy braking zone here to a 90-degree corner into an S-bend. Again, loads of curbs, almost pointless putting those rumble strips out. I'm sure Clyde's ripping his hair out at the amount of extra track that these drivers will take. And then the death corner. This is the final corner on the track. Actually, it's not. There's a little kink heading coming up to us, but that one is where everybody's going to potentially pile up, and at the fountain, which was towards the start of the track.
Yeah, that final corner, it's such a tight turn, isn't it?
Yeah.
Your arms are crossed up, you're trying to accelerate, the car doesn't want to. We do see a lot of accidents there. Anyway, let's bring you your starting grid for our 30-minute sprint race, round 11. Johnny Brandon takes pole position for XVR OAPs. Vincent Skilbeck, nice to see Vincent up the sharp end of the grid. Second for Wheelie Bins Mayhem Republic, and Simon Trendle in third for Team Chimera. Bob Woodhouse, fourth, NQR Europe. Tyler Newitt back again in fifth for BSTV Esports Green. Sixth is Ant Woodward, NQR Europe, and seventh is Privateer Michael Campbell. Eighth is Bram Dubois for NQR Europe. I seem to remember he had a torrid time last time out. Andrew Wood, Team Chimera in ninth. Stacey Boyd in 10th. Rob Venn 11th. And rounding out your grid is Ivan Batmans in 12th.
Excellent, well done, Clyde. Right, let's
get the yellow flags ready.
Yeah, all of them, please. Virtual and otherwise. Right, so it's funny how they grid the cars up these days as well, because they're not in a perfect line anymore. Can you see? They're all dog-legged all over the place. It's a little bit more realism for it. I quite like it. They've probably been doing it for years and I've not noticed, but who cares? Right, who else is on the chat in a minute? Chris Jackson's on the chat. Good evening to you. Alan Toon is on the chat. Ivan's on the chat. He's not on the track. Why not?
Ivan was obviously listening to me by his comment.
Yeah, it doesn't break. It doesn't turn. Have you been driving my setup? That's really funny, actually. And then is that a new person down the bottom there?
Go on, Doc.
Who's Doc?
Who is Doc?
Right. Can we get Doc out of any name? No, I don't think so.
I reckon it's Ant Woodward, but he's spelt Doc wrong.
Yeah, Mr. K off it, and oh, it is as well. It is as well.
I told you.
Oh dear, who are we waiting for here? Nobody. Why are we still?
No, actually, it's another name for Bob, Rob, Robert.
Right. Okay.
Right, we're about to go green, folks.
That was so funny.
We're off.
We're off. Come on, boys.
I think Andrew Wood had a bit of wheel spin off the line. He was under pressure straight away.
Steady as she goes. Everybody safely through that bit. There's a bit of congestion here at who is that? So is that Tyler? Yeah. Tyler door to door with Ant Woodward, I think.
Yeah, Bob Woodhouse was putting pressure on Simon Trendle, but had to give
Gee whiz.
Woodward sideways there.
Yeah, and he's giving this up again.
Yeah, that just killed his traction, didn't it?
Yeah, he had nothing. Cold tyres, and they just spin. There's nothing else to describe it. Good to see most of the cars have still got a Bill tribute on the bonnet for barbecue Bill Switzer.
I thought you was going to say it's good to see all the cars have still got all their panels.
Well, that as well. That as well. Right, everybody, it appears, Clyde, to be nose to tail and has made it round the first lap unmolested.
To be honest, it's probably 50-50 here on, how your damage gets caused. I think 50% of the time you're in a collision with somebody else, and 50% of the time it's your own fault.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's getting quite tight for the lead. I'm not looking at the lead at the minute. I'm looking at this battle between, now it's Bram Dubois and Michael Campbell.
Yeah, I've got eyes on the lead at the moment, but it again, it's not an easy track to. Johnny Brandon just got sideways, and then Vincent Skilbeck decided to join him doing it.
Well, you've just missed Ant Woodward tagging the wall. Bit of a hip check on the wall, but he's definitely tagged it.
Andrew Wood as well there.
And Vincent Skilbeck's giving Johnny Brandon a bit of a run for his money here. Oh, actually, I think I moved away from the Campbell-Dubois battle a bit too soon, because Bram has got this done round the outside. It was around the inside of the previous corner that he did it, but that throaty rumble of the V8 going around there.
Yeah, Bram had zero luck, didn't he, last time out? if I
yes.
remember rightly.
Yeah.
I think he had an absolute nightmare and ended up about 9,000 laps down or something.
He did, yeah. It wasn't a great night for him, it has to be said. Big gap has appeared ahead of Bram. You can see it there to his teammate Ant Woodward. Bram's just got all sorts of company with him at the moment.
Yeah, we see that a lot, don't we? But I think it's exacerbated at a track like this. As soon as two cars get side by side.
Sorry, Stacey Boyd has lost it coming over the top of the hill. Let's have a quick look at that. Oh, I've got the wrong one actually. I've got the one where the overtake was. Right, let me do this again because there was no actual crash at that one. This is Stacey. Comes around the bottom of the casino and then turns in, and the back end loops on him.
Yeah, we've seen that many times.
It's so hard to. It's a bit of bad damage actually as well. It's so hard to recover that. There's nothing you can do. The car just goes, nope, you're having it. Sorry.
Yeah, you're an absolute passenger at that point.
Yeah. And that's not even a rookie mistake, because that can happen to everybody. It's just like when the back end decides to lose traction and just wants to swap with the front, you're done. Right, so around the fountain again. Have you got? I haven't got any insider knowledge this week, I'm afraid.
No, nor have I.
I think we'll make it up as we go along, like we normally do.
Yeah, that'll be a good idea.
Yeah.
Sounds like a cunning plan.
Clyde Baldrick Whiting. Sure, a car just vanished in front of these guys.
Yeah, Vincent. Ooh. Vincent is disappearing and coming back, and then he's literally just come back, and there was a big puff of smoke. But I don't know whether he actually hit the wall or whether that was a ping issue.
Right, probably a ping issue. It does seem to do that.
See any major damage on his car, so.
And Tyler reminding Bob Woodhouse that he's there by giving him a little touch as he came around that last hairpin. I think these front cars are going to get together again soon. There seem to be the cars in second, third, and fourth, and fifth. Sorry, seem to be going a little bit faster on these laps, probably due to that tow down Sunset.
Yeah, so I've been watching the leaders, and one thing I can say is Johnny Brandon and Vincent Skilbeck are, how will I phrase this, flirting with the wall.
Right.
Simon Trendle is giving the walls respect.
And staying with Vincent as well. Yeah, so a few people can't be with us tonight. Clive's probably already mentioned. So some have got personal life issues, some are injured, some are staring at the sky tonight, Clive.
Yeah, injured. Well, that's a loose term.
Two very different lines from Vincent and Simon coming round the Sunset Bend. Oh, it's not called that, is it? It's called something else. It's one of the tyre manufacturers, I think. Bridgestone.
I'm
wondering... Whoa, no.
Hello.
Right, no block track. Everybody's running again, but I'm sure there's some second-hand cars in that there, Clyde.
Yeah, I only caught the rear end of that, but...
This might be it, and I think I've just selected the wrong car, so let me go and select the right car. So I think Rob Venn is the one that's gone in shallow. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, ouch.
Yeah,
right.
And Mr. Wood there was just an innocent bystander. Ivan, I think Ivan got away with that.
Legendary move from Ivan. That was amazing. How did he not hit anybody?
Yeah, I'm wondering if Vincent has gone aggressive on cambers or something, or toe, in an effort to improve his qualifying, which will probably ultimately, he'll lose out on race pace.
Yeah, I think you might be right. And I think if Andrew Wood doesn't box the car this lap, that engine's going to go on him. Oh, he is doing. Yeah. It's already smoking, and that is a very smashed up Stacey Boyd after his contact with the wall. And we've got a race on now. Tyler on Bob Woodhouse. This is good pressure from Tyler. Backed out of that. Might be able to get decent drive up and over the crest of the hill here. In the boulevard, or whatever this is called, I can't remember. Oh, and Bob's clipped the inside wall.
Yeah, Tyler's snaking. If you finish this race with a clean car, you're obviously not trying.
Yeah. It's like incident points, isn't it? If you've not got a few, were you really driving hard enough? Right, Andrew Wood thankfully has rejoined, but he's going to rejoin here. Oh no, just ahead of the leaders. The leaders are just at the beginning of the boulevard. Not the boulevard, Bridgestone. Boulevard's on the brain now. Tyler a little bit further adrift of Bob Woodhouse at the minute, and that is...
Oh, Jesus.
What are you watching?
Vincent.
Oh, right. Maybe we should just put the camera on Vincent for the rest of the race. Where is he? There he is. Has he actually hit anything yet?
I don't think so, no. But how he hasn't, I've got no idea.
I'm going to have to go back to where Tyler is, because that is a bit heated. Funny how they're such different lines between the drivers. And that was Bob Woodhouse hitting the other side of the wall, or the wall on the other side of the car, rather. So his sponsors are going to be fuming because he's just stripped all the sponsorship off. Speaking of sponsors, many thanks to Simability yet again for being Season 14's sponsor. They do fantastic things for people less fortunate than some of the rest of us by adjusting, as Tyler shoves him round the corner, do fantastic things adjusting sim rigs and gear and wheels and pedals for people who would otherwise struggle. And go and see their website, throw some money their way, it's all worth it.
It certainly is.
And Woodward slowly creeping up on these two. Bob Woodhouse is going to have to pit for some new panels because there's not going to be much left in a minute.
Yeah, he's definitely holding Tyler up, isn't he?
I think so.
Tyler can see, like you say, and getting bigger in his mirror, so he really wants past.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be in an NQR sandwich.
No, and Ant's just tagged the wall behind. Only a little bit, just a rub. Well, that's what it showed anyway. We've got battles further back as well, and the battle for the lead is, or for second place rather, is getting a bit hot now. See it in the foreground just there. So this is Rob Venn slowly catching Ivan, and Michael on Bram Dubois. Michael Campbell, that is. Cocks the rear wheel up in the air. Nice paint job on that car. Nice line through there from Michael Campbell, I have to say. And he's in a good place for a draft here.
Yeah, there is a sweet spot, isn't there, on that hairpin?
Yeah.
It's a slightly later turn in, but your exit is fantastic. But there's millimetres in it.
Yeah.
Turn in too soon and you just can't get off the corner. Turn in too late and the car just doesn't want to turn and you're flirting with that outside wall.
Yeah, and you look at the way that the car gets to drive off the corners, it's very different for the different drivers. These two are driving the same car, taking different lines in, and getting very vastly different lines out.
Change for second place.
Ooh. don't know what I've just pressed. I think I pressed pause. Sorry. Oh yeah, right. Let's have a look at that little overtake. It was clean according to SDK anyway. Still can't figure out where we are. Oh right.
Ooh, I think he let him go.
He did. Why? I wonder why. Slow down? Can you get a slow down anywhere?
What? You can't get far enough off track, can you, to get a slow down?
Not without destroying the car, no. Oh dear.
Rob, Ben and Ivan Batmans.
And Bram. So I'm going to watch Bram first. Because I think this is going to be fairly catastrophic. Oh, or maybe not. Oh, but the next bit might be, I guess. He's stuck on the wall. He's stuck on the furniture. I've just got 4 warnings, one after the other, that Rob Venn has crashed. Right, well, he's just going to sit there spinning for a while. Rob Venn, this is travelling towards the scene of the previous crime, I think.
Yeah, I did hear Rob apologise.
Oh,
so
he's tagged Ivan.
Yeah.
And Ivan's been driving into the corner carefully because... Oh, you're joking? Rob's crashed and stuck to those tyres as well. Got some Velcro tyres here, Clyde.
Well, that's both sides of Rob's car now, isn't it?
And the bonnet, and the back, and maybe the roof. I'm not sure. I think the roof's the only bit that you can read anything on. I think he's covered in flies on the inside of it. He's carried on going, though.
Yeah, it's not smoking, so...
I'm wondering what will happen in the first braking zone, which is why I'm staying with the replay, no other reason. Because I'm wondering whether he has still got brakes more than anything. No, he's fine. Right, okay, back to live running. Nobody else changed places. Ivan Bauman's, even though he was in that, and the back end of his car, I think, got some punishment. He's got no boot or rear spoiler anymore. But he's up 4 positions from the start with some of the donated positions. Right, into the action further forward, Clyde.
Yeah, I think Vincent is proper struggling now. Simon Trendle has disappeared by...
Oh, he has. 3 seconds.
Well over, I was going to say, well over 2 seconds. And he's now got Bob Woodhouse, Tyler Newitt, and almost Ant Woodward chasing him.
Do you think he's just eaten up his stuff very early on?
That's what it looks like, but you never really know, do you?
No. You know what? I don't know why I give drivers compliments, because my curses are strong, Clyde. That's not having a rear spoiler.
Yeah.
No rear grip. Oh my God, they're all at it, Clyde. Good grief.
I'll say, I just heard another one. I didn't see it.
It's this one. You were saying he had a bad time out last time. I don't think his fortunes got any better. I think this is clipping the inside of the hairpin, is it? Oh no.
No,
Is that classed as a crash, does it?
Did it really?
Yeah, that was it. Thanks, SDK, for nothing. Okay. Just slowing down too much, apparently, is a crash. Oh, right, I need to get on to Ant Woodward here, because he's... No, it's not. It's Tyler, sorry. On Bob Woodhouse.
Tyler's
again.
Just can't get
we might now.
Oh, he got a good run there, but he's on the outside.
It's a long way around there as well. I mean, in an interview, if you're Bob Woodhouse, you're going to say, I was backing him up into Ant so that Ant could get by, right?
Yeah, of course you are.
Every day of the week. Alan Toon says, plenty of drama. Yeah, more than my blood pressure pills can cope with, that's for sure. and he's made a couple of really valuable comments about Simability in the chat as well. And as a former professional in that field, because he dealt with people with certain needs in his career, he can tell us that enabling technologies of that kind can transform lives. And that's definitely true for the chap that we were helping, wasn't it, Clyde?
It certainly was. Sorry, I was in the middle of wetting one's whistle then.
Right. No cake yet, though.
No. No, there may not be any today.
Right. A former sim racer called Adam apparently is on the chat, Clyde.
Never heard of him.
No, neither have I. No, there was someone that, in metaphorical terms, died recently, didn't they?
There's actually another one on there that I've never heard of.
Mirko Namala, who's he?
Never heard of her.
No.
This Tyler and Rob battle is working out very, very well for Vincent.
Yeah, because it's enabling him to get away a little bit.
It's keeping the pressure off of him, isn't it? Because I think both of them could probably breeze past him, metaphorically. But because they're battling, every time Bob gets close enough to Vincent, Tyler then gets close enough to Bob, and Bob has to start defending, and then Vincent gets away again. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in this little battle with 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, and just in case everybody's forgotten, Johnny Brandon is still in the race, and he's leading it, funnily enough. He's leading it by a little bit less than he was before, because that is Simon Trendle right there, 2.4 seconds behind him. Last lap, Simon was ever so slightly faster, and it was ever so slightly. There is Simon, hot on his tail, and then you've got a bit of a big jump now. He's got 5.7 seconds. It seems like only like 1 minute ago, Clyde, that you were saying there's a change for second place.
Yeah, and Vincent, I don't know what happened in the last lap, but he's pulled what looks like a massive gap.
Yeah, on these two, yeah, or three rather than 3, 2.5. Yeah, it's Woodhouse, isn't it?
Yeah, he won't get to the end. He'll quit. But you can see it's not. I think panic is the wrong word, but every time Ant Woodward gets within half a second of Tyler, you then start seeing Tyler taking different lines and trying to force an error out of Bob.
Yeah, definitely. And Tyler doing a bit of opposite lock, Clyde, to try and straighten the car up in that last turn.
Yeah,
anyway.
I think you probably spend 40% of this lap
pointing the wheel the wrong way.
Wheel in the wrong direction. Yeah. I'm surprised nobody's tried the cheeky one into the last hairpin yet.
I know, no, like random dives and sends.
Yeah.
Johnny's leading the race though.
No, well, there is that, yeah.
What were we reversing?
10.
10, so yeah, he's going to have a few cars to get through there.
Batman on pole.
Batman on pole, yeah. If he hadn't had that moment into turn 1 with no rear wing and therefore no downforce, no, not turn 1, turn 5, he'd have been in like 7th place, I think, or 8th place, which would have been a great result, but not to work out that way. So, half the car then. Look at the state of it. And it looks like Ivan's having real trouble here.
Yeah, his car just won't turn.
Look at the understeer on Rob's car. He's got no front splitter, has he? He's got no downforce at the front. Just
Do you reckon they
washing
could
through.
make a decent car between the two of them?
No. No. You can make a decent beach buggy out of those two cars. Right then, this is kind of as it was. I thought it was a bit tasty for a minute, but it's not. Tyler's a bit better on the brakes, but it doesn't do him any good because he loses it on the exit of the corners.
Yeah, I think Rob's doing a very good job of slowing Tyler down on the apexes, which basically gets rid of all of Tyler's advantage.
Yeah.
And it's it's a genuine tactic. I've used it multiple times myself.
I don't know why Tyler drops off so much from the back of Rob's car through that last little sequence.
Yeah, I wonder if he's got a couple of laps where he can push and then he has to back off for a little while.
Yeah, Stacey Boyd has not crashed again. He's gonna have to. Oh no, I thought he was gonna have to reverse them. But he's gone in to repair his car. That's dropped him back a few places. Look at the lead that Vincent's managed to get on these guys now. It's
so
pretty
that's
handsome. Yeah.
very, very strange. I'd expect him to pull away if Tyler and Bob were battling, but they haven't really battled for a few laps now, so...
Now, am I right in understanding that this is a walled street circuit followed by another walled street circuit, Miami Road?
Yes.
It's a bit harsh, isn't it?
Well, that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. We don't set the schedule. We follow the official iRacing schedules over 2 seasons. And I'm quite looking forward. I've raced one of the Miami Road courses in something, and I can't for the life of me remember what it was.
Was it a shopping basket?
I have, for some reason, I think we may have gone there when the GT4s first came out.
I don't remember it at all.
Yeah.
You don't go there very often, do you, with any series?
But it's, I like going to new tracks. Drivers have favourite tracks and some tracks suit some drivers, other tracks suit other drivers, but you're pretty much guaranteed that not many of our drivers are going to have many laps in the bank, and in the memory bank anyway, from a Miami Road course.
No, and if you read through the rest of the listing, it doesn't read any better further on. So so Miami Road course after Long Beach, then we've got Road America on an endurance race, then we've got Chicago Street course, which is another one like this, isn't it? And then Aragon to finish the season.
Yeah. We've certainly got a lot of the difficult tracks in this season, haven't we?
Definitely.
So next season must be Daytona Road, Indy Road, Silverstone, that's another nice easy one. Vincent has got visible damage on his car now.
Oh.
Front left.
Let's have a little shifty at that. Oh yes, that's nice. Nice bit of exposed rubber there, that's always good. Ooh, it just dives for
every
death.
lap. Every lap on that corner.
Oh dear.
But that's I've been watching him, and like every lap it's like, oh yeah.
Right. I don't think this is anything. However, it has come up as an incident. I think he's going to clip the inside of this. Oh, that was a bit twitchy. Apparently that was a crash. That was a crash.
Yeah.
He was a bit twitchy, but that was all it was.
I'll tell you something.
Right.
That gap's come down.
Oh yeah, Simon found another little extra bit of acceleration. Bit of nitrous maybe. Yep, SDK does not like cars going slowly around that hairpin. Just keeps giving me crashes every single lap for some cars. And I think the gap to Vincent from Bob Woodhouse is dropping. Just not by very much. Oh no, it went up that lap, but it had come down the lap before.
Yeah, well, we are in the death throes of this race now. I'm just watching our leader.
I mean, it's been a pretty much perfect outing so far for Johnny Brandon.
It certainly has. I think when he crosses the line this time round, he will be getting the white flag.
Tyler's desperate to get his car on the outside of Bob's at that boulevard turn.
He's got a good run here.
He has. I don't know that he's got enough road to do anything with it other than have a little look.
That's the trouble.
I mean, we know it's terribly hard to overtake round here. You've got to do a ridiculous YOLO effort, haven't you?
Yeah, you know, we've seen many different ways of getting past people around here when you have to.
Yep.
I think it's mainly from a mistake from the driver in front that gifts you a position, but we have seen, you know, people put cars where you're not expecting them and giving the other driver a decision to make.
So the leaders are approaching the back of the field, or other cars in the back of the field, I should say, on this, the final lap.
Yeah, I'm not sure. No, I was going to say it's one of them is Ivan, who is usually very, very good at getting out of the way to the point of throwing himself. Not you can hear, but normally he'll throw himself off the track. I think he's going to be all right, actually.
Yeah, he'll probably stay ahead. But Johnny's like, thank God for that. And
so,
there you go.
A win for Johnny Brandon in the sprint race.
And I think Tyler Newitt threw everything he had into the last little bit. He's got scratches on his car now, which he didn't have before. So I'm going to have a look at that in a second. Just let everybody get over the line first. This little rabble here, I think they're all on different laps. That was Andrew Wood in the foreground, and this is Michael Campbell, who's the only one on lead lap out of that little group there. That's Stacey Boyd getting out of his way a little bit. Oh no, Andrew Wood was one lap down, yeah. No, he wasn't, he was on lead lap. Excuse me. Right, let's have a look and see what happened with Tyler. I think this was at the hairpin. I think he was literally throwing the kitchen sink and everything else.
He's already got the scratches.
Oh, has he?
Yeah.
Oh, he had a good look on the inside there. But there's nothing going to happen at that point. Right then. Somebody must still be running. Oh, it's Ivan.
Yeah,
he
just
crossed the line. Ahead, yeah.
Yeah, he had another lap to go.
Oh, and he's just crossed over. Right, okay. I wondered why I couldn't get any standings up. Where's the results, Clyde? I had this last time, do you remember? No, still not there. Has it still not gone official?
Yeah, we're into the next warm-up session.
Well, that's very strange. I can get that. I can't get anything here. What's going on? Show. Yeah, that's good. Right. Don't want 2. Want 1. Shall we have a look at what happened in qualifying? Nothing, apparently. Oh, very strange. Apparently nobody finished the race, Clyde, okay?
Result.
It's not having a bar of this.
I'll make the points easier.
Certainly will. Right. I'm having nothing but trouble tonight with various different things, I have to say. Oh, do you know? When things work well, it's great. When they don't work, it's annoying.
Well, I can tell the folks at home.
Yeah, you better do that while I fight with
that
this
Johnny
thing.
Brandon won. Simon Trendle was second. Vincent Skilbeck was third. Bob Woodhouse was fourth. Tyler Newitt was fifth. And I think Ant Woodward was sixth. After that, I'm lost.
As am I at the moment. No, nothing's working. No, I still can't get the results. What the hell? You're not in the session?
Yeah.
Oh, you are in the session, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Why am I on minus 29? What the hell is going on? No, still not gotten. It's not doing it. SDK will not show me the results of that particular session.
Well, that's not too much of an issue. We got the important places. I'm trying to work out who finished 10th.
I get the feeling that was Andrew Wood, but I might not be completely correct with that.
Because obviously we have a reverse top 10 for the feature race, so whoever finished...
Oh, and there you go. It's just randomly popped up without me doing anything.
Have you seen the track name on there? Is that you, or...
That's me, yeah. I can fix that now, that's class.
Okay, so whilst Pete puts that right, your official results. Johnny Brandon took away the sprint race win for XVR OAPs. Simon Trendle was second for Team Chimera, and Vincent Skilbeck rounded off the podium for Wheelie Bin's Mayhem Republic. Bob Woodhouse was fourth for NQR Europe. Fifth was Tyler Newitt for BSTV Esports Green. Ant Woodward was sixth for NQR Europe. And then we had Michael Campbell in seventh, Rob Venn in eighth, Ivan Batmans in ninth. Pete was right. Andrew Wood is in 10th and will start on pole for the feature race. Stacey Boyd was 11th and Bram Dubois was 12th. I think there was some, and I don't mean this in a nasty way, there was some very sensible driving there, Pete.
Given it's a track that can usually be an utter crash fest. We had one bit at turn one, courtesy of Mr. Venn, who's now got a rebuilt car, obviously. I think with a pit stop included, that'll either make it better because people can, sweat it out until the pit stop. Even if they get a reasonable amount of damage. But yeah, everybody drove within their capabilities, and that was the sprint race. I mean, that's the one where you throw it all at the wall. This one here is the one where you need to take it a little bit more carefully and apply some strategy in there for your fuel and for your tyres in this car, because they do take tyres. You can't do a full 40 minutes and still expect to have good rubber underneath you, can you, in this car?
No, and you're right. If I was going into a feature race with 12 cars on the grid, my whole mindset would change to, if I keep this car out of the wall, I'm going to score many, many points.
Yeah. You almost want to play it like, when you go bowling and you're really, really bad and you bring out those bumpers at the side.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that with my car, just not go anywhere near the sides of the track. You will end up gaining positions as a result, particularly if you're in the, shall we say, the last third of the field on a normal basis. I think there's definite benefit to doing that, as the two BSTV green cars practice their pit stops. Nothing wrong with that. You're going to need to, because it's not difficult getting in pit lane here, is it? But rejoining into traffic is, because you're running in parallel with the cars coming past you, and it. Ooh, Stacey. And we've seen pilots in both officials and our leagues before of people leaving pit road and trying to rejoin the track in traffic. It's not easy.
No, and the other thing you get is because it's a short lap, and I think the pit window is going to be fairly mahoosive tonight, because I don't think this is in any way, shape or means a high fuel usage track. You are going to get cars coming out of the pits on fresh tyres behind cars that have been out a while on older tyres, and the grip difference is going to be massive, and that could cause an issue.
Yes, definitely, because grip round this track is king. If you've got it, you are significantly faster than everybody else on normal road surface tracks, where you can have a little play with the grass verges and stuff. You don't see it quite so much, but on this track it's monstrous, and I don't know why that is. Someone will have a more scientific reason for that than I've got. You just feel mighty going through some of these really tight and twisty turns. We've got a track that's rubbering up now, properly rubbering up. You can see the rubber line in it a lot more vividly than we saw at the beginning of the first race. So that track evolution will play into it as well, Clyde.
Yeah, and you know, the fundamentals of a decent race car is being able to go, being able to stop, and being able to turn, which is fairly basic. But round here, there's not really massive braking zones. Your car does need to turn, because otherwise you're in a wall. But I think the most important thing is traction out of the turn. And that's how overtakes happen around a tight, twisty street circuit. You just get half a car up the inside of the car in front of you that has struggled with traction coming out of the corner, and pretty much that corner, the next corner is yours. It's done and dusted at that point. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. Pit strategy, you know me, I love the pit strategies. I love the things that people try. I love it when, somebody does something and you're like, do you know what? That ain't happening. Yeah. There's absolutely no way that pit strategy is going to get you anywhere. How did he win that race? You get that.
Well, we used to get that from a certain Mirko Namula, or whatever their name was, that we don't have on the chat.
Merkin
Namala or something, or Merlala, yeah. His name will come back to us later, don't worry about it.
Do you know what a Merkin is?
No.
No, okay. You might want to Google that.
Okay, I'll have a look. Is it, you spell it as you say it, yeah?
Yeah, I think it could be Victorian or something like that.
Oh, it's going to be something terrible, this. Am I going to end up on somebody's police search somewhere?
No. It was a practical thing back in the day.
That's the fastest pit lane entry I've ever seen from anybody, and that was Vincent Skilbeck. He absolutely mullered it into pit road. Merkin.
I'm just trying to think how I can say this nicely. It's a...
Oh my God, what is that?
A Lady Garden wig.
I think I've gone blind. Right, we're going to check it in this warm-up. Why would anybody know that? How do you know that?
I don't know how I know that. It must have been in Trivial Pursuit or something.
Oh, Miami Road's a roval, not a street course, according to Tyler. Right, thanks for that. Yeah. Right, where am I going? Grid.
Okay,
yeah,
so...
Right,
Your starting grid. Oh, hang on. I haven't done the grid set. Hang on.
Oh, yeah. So your grid is going to be led away by, let me go to Blimcam, Andrew Wood for Team Chimera. Second off and next to him will be Ivan Batmans for Track Velocity Racing. Third will be Rob Venn for BSTV Esports Green. Michael Campbell will go fourth. Fifth will be Anne Woodward for Never Quit Racing Europe. Tyler Newitt will go off sixth for BSTV Esports Green, with Bob Woodhouse in seventh for NQR Europe. Vincent Skillback will be eighth for Wheelie Bins Mayhem Republic. Ninth will be Simon Trendle for Team Chimera. 10th will be last time out's winner XVR OAP's Johnny Brandon. 11th will be Stacey Boyd, and Bram de Bois for NQR Europe will go off 12th and bring up the rear of the field on this occasion.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting.
By interesting, do you actually mean messy?
No, I genuinely think this is going to be interesting.
I think Andrew Wood, he's got some speed in him when he doesn't crash. I think he's going to do all right. Rob Venn had all sorts of trouble in that first race, really, didn't he?
Michael Campbell is the one I'm watching, if I'm honest.
Oh, right, okay.
I think he drove really well in the first race.
Well, he certainly ended up with a car that had, all of its panels, most of them were scratch-free, so yeah.
I think we're waiting.
Ivan might decide to go from pit road.
Yeah, he might do, yeah.
We've seen him do that once before, a few seasons back. But we are coming up on the start time now. So even if he does start from pit road, it won't be delaying us too much. Johnny, Brandon, Simon and Vincent, after showing that they were the fastest cars, they've got quite a job to do here, because we've seen that overtaking's really difficult regardless, as we start with the lights, Clyde.
Yeah, patience. Okay, lights are coming on. And we're away.
Michael Campbell had a very rocky start. He's about to get done straight away. Twice, nearly three times, yeah.
That curse was strong.
Yeah, it was. Oh, 3 wide, Clyde.
I'm going to shut my eyes.
Yeah. I'm going to look between my fingers. Oh, that's messy. Very messy.
There's chaos at the back. Ooh.
Who's that? Bob Woodhouse. Simon Trendle.
Simon Trendle's in it.
Who wasn't in it? Did Johnny Brandon manage to get through unscathed? He did. And fight for the... Oh, not the lead. Second place this is. Ant Woodward on Andrew Wood, and he's made that work. Very nicely done.
Tyler Newitt has got himself up there. Johnny Brandon's in third already.
Yeah. Oh, there's crashing behind here.
Who
was that? I think it was just a collision with the side of the car, but it was very loud. Johnny Brandon has got past Andrew Wood. I don't know what you want to look at, because my entire event screen is red.
I would like to. Oh, Vincent's got damage. Michael's got damage.
Yeah.
I would like to see what happened at that at the start there.
There we go.
Just there looked naughty.
Yeah. Rob Venn lost the back end over the curb. Yeah. And actually, he's got away with that because he's pretty damaged.
Simon Trendle.
Yeah, he got a full face of it, didn't he?
No, he didn't. He avoided it, and I think Rob reversed into him.
Oh. Just have a quick butchers at that. So
you watch Simon in this clip. He gets it woed up, and then he's going round Rob. Here. Oh, it wasn't Rob, sorry. It was, or was it? 46. Who is that NQR car? Is that Ant?
No, that's Bob Woodhouse.
That is Bob Woodhouse, yeah.
Yeah. Bob Woodhouse has got no front and no back. Sides are fine though. Sides are fine. You need sides in this, don't you? Is it side panels you need?
Well, wasn't you saying that he'd rubbed all his sponsors off in the last race?
Yeah.
So he's decided to do the front and the rear this time rather than the
Oh,
sides.
he nearly went. Oh, that was Bram. Sorry, he nearly went round at the hairpin. Nearly looped it. So I think Stacey's going to get a bit of a run on him here. So Simon Trendle with everything to do, Clyde. Everything. And he's the fastest car on track, even with the damage.
Yeah, I don't think he got a lot of damage from that.
Right.
It was a side-on blow, which isn't usually too bad, but that spun him. But he didn't go into the wall or anything; just cost him lots of time.
Yeah, and just
Vincent has just made a move on Andrew Wood for fourth.
yeah, Stacey's decided I'm not tangling with Simon, so he's let him go. Actually, Simon's car is pretty much untouched.
Yeah, the
He's just
damage will
delayed.
be on the left-hand side.
Yeah,
We
he's gonna
might
come
see
through
it
here.
now.
I'm on the wrong car. That would help if I was on the right car, wouldn't it? Wait till we get to the next turn. Ivan, for everybody's information, didn't join this race. I might have had enough of the first race. Right, so yeah, he's got scuff marks. Doesn't look like anything more serious than that. There. Well,
Yeah, that's not going to be race-changing damage.
this one is a bit.
That is.
And do you know what? Rob Venn, I think his car looks immaculate compared to what it should look like.
Yeah.
It should look like it's been in a car crusher.
Yeah. Bob Woodhouse is driving a skip.
Or a bottle bank. Well, right, so Rob's worst damage is, can you see there's a little crinkle in the rear wing?
Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lucky boy. Lucky boy. I bet he's giggling inside that helmet. Right, here we go. This is for a points paying position, or a very high points paying position. Nice overtake from Johnny Brandon. Very clean.
And that, I don't understand why we don't see that more often, because with these tighter turns, drivers want to take that long sweeping entry, and it just opens up the inside for people.
It does. It does.
Oh, who was that? Who was behind Andrew Wood? Was that Michael Campbell?
Yes. But he looks okay. Oh, no, he doesn't. Look at the state of that. Oh, he's gone into the pits.
Yeah, that it did look fairly hefty.
Yeah, Vincent's car.
I was just going to say Vincent's car's back to normal.
Well, the front of his car looks like he's started with the car that he had in the last race. You can see the left front damage. But he's also decided the boot is not worth having either. So he's got rid of that in very Bob Woodhouse fashion.
Doesn't seem to be slowing him down, though.
Well, he's got no rear downforce, has he? That thing's like a rocket right now. He's quite high up in the field as well. Can you believe it? He's fourth. What the hell? Oh, and Ant Woodward just tagged the inside wall and the outside. At the minute, we've got the laughing American at the front here, Tyler the Smiler. He's running away. I think that might change subtly because Johnny's been released, if you know what I mean. He's not pent up behind Ant Woodward now. Let's have a look at the lap times as they cross the stripe. 120.4 versus a 120.2, Clyde. It's 2/10 out of Tyler on that lap.
Long way to go as well, isn't there? We're only 7 minutes in.
And I have to salute Andrew Wood. He's in fifth. Started in second, did he? Yeah. Started in second.
Started on pole, didn't he?
Well, technically, yes, because Ivan didn't join. So.
I think he was on pole. I think he finished 10th.
Oh, no, he did. Sorry, yeah, maybe it's stupid. So he's not lost many positions because of all the melee that had gone on that first lap.
And he's got a good gap behind him as well.
Yeah, I was just looking at his car, and his car looks immaculate. So, well done, Andrew, for avoiding all those shenanigans. Right, Vincent. With no doubt, it might well be an actual wheelie bin now, that car. Now, we've seen this from Vincent before, haven't we? And he said that on his screen he's got a car boot and he's got a rear spoiler.
Yeah.
We're the ones that couldn't see it.
I think he's actually got stickers stuck on his monitor because he knows he's going to lose parts of his car. And he's like, no, it's all right on my screen.
He's just drawing it on in permanent marker or something. What I don't get is, oh, right. Michael Campbell, that was his second visit to pit road that we saw.
Okay.
So I think the first time he's turned something off, like fast repair. He's definitely still sat there.
Yeah, that turned out to be a stronger than usual curse.
Yeah.
Well, there's plenty of time, you can still win.
On this track, you're not wrong. We've seen some proper calamities on this track before, haven't we? So, usually when either you or I are driving one of the cars, but that's not happened for many years now, has it? So,
right, what's Tyler going to do tactically?
panic and.
Well, I don't think he's got Johnny Brandon pace.
No.
But I don't think Johnny Brandon has got Tyler Newitt tactics.
No, and you don't need to do a great deal with the car to make it very, very wide round here, do you? There's a few places
No.
you will become a victim, and this is one of them leading into turn one. The rest of the track, really, if you can be, half a car to the left or right, that's you blocking the whole track for the car behind you.
Yeah, what is fuel saving going to help?
Oh. Vincent strobing in and out at the moment. Ant Woodward did give us a holy mackerel in the intermission there between the races, so always welcome a good holy mackerel.
Ooh.
I heard that as well.
I think that was Johnny Brandon.
Oh, well, that should be evident on his car. Let me go to a different camera. It'll be on the other side, though, won't it? Because that was a right-hand turn, so it'll be left-hand damage. And I don't see anything.
No, I can't see anything. Must have been one of those weird ones.
Yeah, phantom strike. I love the sound of the engines when they come around that hairpin with that camera. It's just like thudding away. Brilliant. Vincent dropping off the back of Ant Woodward now. Maybe the lack of aero has caught up with the message to the car. And the car's to say, oh, well, got no rear wing now.
Well, maybe the car didn't know until we told it.
Well, it could be that. Last time round, the fastest of the top three was Ant Woodward.
Interesting.
Do my eyes deceive me, Clyde? He was 3/10 faster than Johnny Brandon.
Yeah. We know Ant isn't a fuel saver.
Yes, true. By his
We
own
know Johnny
admission.
Brandon is, and we know Tyler's a bit of a master at it. So, are there some things afoot here?
Possible. Johnny and Tyler did almost identical laps previous lap, with Johnny being ever so slightly faster, but there's nothing in it really. This lap might be more indicative of what we should expect. See them as they come over the line. So Johnny significantly faster than Tyler that lap, and Ant Woodward slight bit slower than previous.
I mean, Trendle up to 6th. He's going to have teammate Andrew Wood will be his next victim, so I'm sure there won't be much of a fight there.
No, but it's quite a distance down the road, Clyde. He's got 5 seconds to cover.
Yes.
Yeah. But if anybody can, Simon Trendle can. He's an absolute wizard in whichever car he gets in these days, isn't he?
Yeah, although I would say in this race, I know we've got a pit stop to come which can shake things up, but I don't expect Andrew Wood to put up any fight whatsoever.
No.
But after that, there's no more easy overtakes.
Woodward will quit. So there's one. Vincent's internet will crap out, so there's another one. So third for Simon Trendle then.
You might even be able to bribe Johnny Brandon with a panini.
Yeah, that seems to work in the real world, doesn't it? So why not in the sim world?
Send some money to Tyler's sex cult, and there's your win.
I know.
Who needs tactics?
Right, so Bram is closing on the back of Rob now, very quickly actually. Michael Campbell is, I don't think, still in the session, Clyde. I think he's...
no, he did quit out, yeah.
Right, he's done for the day. Oops, need to get a camera on these two. This is currently the equal closest battle on track. Vincent and Ant have come back together again.
Yeah, Johnny Brandon has just dipped under the 1 second mark to Tyler as well.
Ah, right, yes. Good point. So this is Vincent and Ant Woodward. And that's Johnny Brandon's rear wing disappearing and out of view. Big sweeping turn there from Vincent. Did he get that wrong? He did, didn't he?
No, that was Johnny Brandon changed lanes when he didn't want to.
Right. It didn't slow his lap time, did it?
That was right near the end of the lap.
Yeah, but, fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, that was the strangest line ever by Vincent Stroby Skillback for the hairpin on that occasion. If you are watching and you're enjoying what you're seeing or hearing, probably more seeing than hearing, give us a like on YouTube. Oh, and we've got one watching on Twitch at the minute as well, Clyde. So, hello.
Just the one.
Just the one for now. We hope for more in the future, obviously. Tyler got a lot of smoke lighting up the back tyres, rear tyres just then.
Yeah, it's about half a second, bit more, bit less sometimes. I'm not sure that Johnny's going to try anything major at the moment. We're only 16 minutes into this race. There's a long, long way to go.
Yeah, it depends how confident he feels on fuel saving, doesn't it? You can see Stacey Boyd there in the background, right? No crashes. According to SDK, he crashed 3 times going around that hairpin. 3 times. Right, who else have we not seen for a while? Where's the go-kart or the wheelie bin or what was it, a bottle bank? Yeah. He's still in it. I'm not sure when the window for pit stopping actually opens.
Well, I think we'll find out as soon as Bob Woodhouse goes in, because
yeah.
You would expect that he will go in as soon as the window is open.
I mean, it's not like the mechanics have got anything to do, really. They've not even got to lift the bonnet or take off a panel or anything. It's just like open, you know? Basically an open wheel car in a GT race, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
It's got the coolest engine on track.
Right, this is going to be on shortly, but I think you're right. I think Johnny is going to be confident that he's saved enough fuel and he's going to sit there.
Johnny, what Johnny's like. Johnny will show his nose. He will be a general pain in the backside. And if Tyler makes one slip up, he will pounce.
Right, that is Andrew Wood setting off very slowly for no good reason. Oh, hang on, it's just popped up.
No, he did he overshoot the corner?
I don't know, but his teammate Simon Trendle's gained a freebie. He's going to lock up. Oh, don't hit that, don't hit that. Oh.
That's you as the damage.
Yeah. Is that one of my curses again? Because I was saying he was doing too well. Don't know. Feel bad now. Right, let's go back to where we were.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm seeing. I'm seeing Tyler driving very, very smoothly.
Right. Ooh.
And Johnny driving not very smoothly.
Does that indicate that Johnny's due to the pits because he's absolutely ragging the car, or what?
No, Johnny's been one of the late stoppers, hasn't he, this season?
You're right, though. He was out of shape just there. Rear wheels lit up. Yeah, Tyler got off the corner really well there, actually. No wheel spin at all, and gets himself 2 or 3 car lengths, if not more. I mean, it is only 0.3 of a second, so that concertina effect's probably taking massive effect.
Just had another crash.
I did too. See how much opposite lock he's having to adjust into this car. No, it's pretty good actually, pretty clean. He's not off the gas particularly early.
No, he is putting Tyler under a lot of pressure. Well, in the live race anyway.
Yeah. Oh. Anyway. It's like an action replay. Might as well do a bit of this again. You can hear the tyres squealing a bit, can't you?
Yeah, there was a fair bit of opposite lock there.
And if you look at the times on the screen, Ant Woodward and Vincent Skilbeck were both a little bit faster than these two on the last lap. I mean, they've got a long way to go, like, they've got 3.5 seconds between them and this little battle. Johnny goes very deep in the first phase and shallows it up on the exit. A mega wheel spin, do you see that? Good
yeah,
grief.
I think he got caught out with how much Tyler slowed down on the entry there and had to bail a little bit.
Yeah. An exciting race for the lead. Equally so is the race back here between the NQR Europe boys of Bob Woodhouse, who's caught Bram Dubois and passed him just.
Oh, Tyler was very ragged there.
Okay, is that going to make him a victim? Not yet.
Yeah.
How close to the wall they get, it's terrifying, isn't it? so you know, SDK is running about 20 seconds behind or more. So, if you want to see a replay, you're going to have to wait for a bit. I don't know what the delay is, but it's whatever affected the results showing earlier.
Yeah, Tyler seems to be under control at the moment.
Yep.
Although, to be honest, he's not one that tends to crack under pressure, is he?
No. Vincent, oh dear. He's coming round the fountain and straightened the car up a bit early. I think he's having real trouble with that car. You think that when the pit window is massively open now, right? And has been for quite a long time. Actually, Bob Woodhouse, has he got even less on that car now than a minute ago? He has, hasn't he? That's got no front fender or anything, no front bumper now.
It's when the roof comes off you need to worry.
Yeah, but Bram Dubois passed him. Oh, only because he went in the pits, maybe? Yeah, he's already lost whatever it was on that screen. So we'll go back where we were.
Johnny Brandon's in the pits.
Oh. So, trying an undercut, maybe?
Yeah.
Spent a few laps behind Tyler. Maybe use that to save enough fuel to do this. And
well, I do genuinely think he's quicker around here than Tyler, but it's just so difficult to overtake, especially when you're behind someone like Tyler, whose mistakes are very few and far between.
Yeah. Do you think this is a trigger to Tyler to do which of the following two? Stay out now, keep it clean, you've not got any traffic in front of you, because he doesn't. Or cover that pit stop off quickly. Because there's a whole bag full of people now in pit road, loads of them.
I would expect Tyler to stay out.
Okay. I do wonder whether Tyler is going to end up coming down the start-finish straight into a load of cars that are coming out of the pits. Because I've got Andrew Wood, Rob Venn, Bram Dubois and Stacey Boyd all in the pits at the minute. And only two of them are on their way out now. Oh, Tyler's in the pits.
I'm straight in.
Yeah. I did wonder. That hands the lead over to Doc Wood. Doc Woodward.
Yeah, and Woodward now praying for a red flag.
Yeah. So Johnny Brandon coming round to finish this lap, but where will Simon Trendle be when he crosses the start-finish line? Simon's still on his jacks at the minute. And that's Johnny Brandon passing him. So Johnny Brandon's got himself a massive lead, Clyde.
He has, yeah.
Simon Trendle's only leaving now. Why would he have such a gigantic lead?
Well, Simon Trendle was 20 seconds behind.
Oh, of course. Simon Trendle, isn't it? Not Tyler. Foolish Pete.
But he has jumped Tyler.
Yeah, by 3 whole seconds. And with Stacey Boyd in between them now as well.
Yeah, but you would expect... Oh, no. Yeah, Stacey's quite a way down compared to these two.
And already paid his pit stop, so this is an overtake that Tyler does need to do, and it will be on track.
Is it? I think I think Stacey's a lap down.
No, he's about to be lapped by Tyler.
Yeah, but Johnny's already passed him,
Yeah,
so
he has, yeah.
I expect he'll get out of the way.
He has done. Tyler, even though it showed it on the screen, I don't think he actually touched the wall there. But they do play with danger, don't they?
You do on every single lap, don't you? It's one little mistake, and that can make or break you.
Which car's this, Clyde?
I don't know.
It's got panels on it and a rear wing.
Yeah.
Says something about a wheelie bin.
I think he's quicker without the panels.
Yeah, so Tyler's, just because JB's asking, all of Johnny Brandon's pit lane advantage was whilst he was standing still. He was 2 seconds quicker in prepping the car.
So either underfueled or
saved enough.
Tyler's put a bit extra in.
Or that, yeah. If I'm looking at the rest of the times now that everybody's pitted, because everybody has, it is Tyler that is the one that's got more fuel in. Everybody else was similar to Johnny.
Which is surprising, because we know Tyler's a past master at saving fuel.
And funny what happens when you have no damage to the car, isn't it? Simon Trundle's just come out and done the fastest lap of the race. A 1:19, Clyde. 1:19.5.
Yeah, but
Great.
14 seconds behind Vincent.
Yeah.
And we're bang on halfway.
So what's that? 3/4 of a second per lap to try and get one position.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that sort of pace could get him 2, because I think Ant and Vincent are not too far apart on track, are they?
No, they're not. 1 second apart at the moment and closing.
But he's still got to get past if he gets there.
Yes. I suppose we should look at Bob Woodhouse and let them see his sponsors just for a few minutes. There we go. See, we knew they were there and it wasn't a grey car.
And Woodward is feeling that podium pressure.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. You are affected by it, aren't you? Because it's a significant thing, and he's no longer a stranger to getting podiums. But when you've got a fast-moving Vincent with all the panels on his car behind you, it makes for a bit of a different challenge. As Bram de Bois has seen the need to revisit pit road.
Interesting.
But only for 3 stationary seconds. Odd. And these two are about to come out right on top of him, are they? No, they're not. He's gone now.
I think he did actually come out.
Oh, we are closing very fast. Jesus. Vincent, really? Did you see that?
Yeah.
And yes, to answer what JB's just said, it does look like Tyler is chipping away at the lead. But if Johnny's gone very, very light on fuel, which could be. He's kind of like the average of all the drivers, if that makes sense, in terms of stationary time. So I wouldn't have thought he has got too little fuel on board. But he might be having a fuel save a bit, Clyde.
Yeah, it's a well-known tactic, isn't it, that you can, just drop off the jacks a second earlier than you need to and make it up in the second half of the race.
Yeah, and track position around a street course like this is king, isn't it? So.
Oh, without a doubt.
Your car's in front. You're going to make it wide. It's already wide because beyond the wideness there's a wall. So everybody's very careful about overtaking, or should be. Vincent strobing in and out a little bit. Again.
Yeah, I think something just happened with Stacey.
Where is Stacey? No. That was Stacey going around one of the tighter corners, and SDK records it as an incident. I think the Synastogen has worn off on Lane O'Connor. He's on the track line. Even into lane. Why isn't he on the track?
Possibly there was no internet earlier in the OAP home.
Yeah. All Googling new fashions in Zimmer frame and incontinence pants.
Nobody's allowed on the internet when the bingo's on.
Why? Hang on a minute. There was a car in front of Vincent a minute ago. And it was Ant Woodward. And now he's dropped 7 seconds, Clyde.
Yeah, didn't see it.
No, but this is it. Ooh.
Yeah, just too hot and it just wouldn't turn.
Yeah, well, he terrified me when we were on board with him a couple of laps ago, getting hot into turn 1. He's not done any damage to the car, but when you bump into the furniture on iRacing that slow, sometimes it grabs you and doesn't let your car go again, so he's been lucky there.
And that's encouragement for Simon Trendle.
Yeah.
Because you can now see him.
Yeah, and we did say, didn't we, he'll be there chipping off the laps, knowing that he'll pick something up at the front. Wayne O'Connor's grandkids are at his house, which is why he's not racing. 3 times this week, apparently, Clyde. I think you're more lucky like that, aren't you? Because your grandkids live further away.
Yes.
Right, so Johnny Brandon is your race leader in this feature race at Long Beach, rather, not Long Island. 2.4 seconds is his lead over Tyler Newitt, who's got a bag full of wheel spin to cope with just that. And then 8 3/4 seconds back down the track is Ant Woodward, and now 5 and a bit seconds further back is Vincent after him going straight on at turn 1.
Replay.
Sorry?
Replay.
Oh, I'm on replay again. Oops. I'm good at that. Right, then this one is a developing situation. Bob Woodhouse with a full car, odd. No scratches on it, Clyde. Has caught up with Rob Venn, and Andrew Wood isn't too far into the scenery ahead of him.
No, I was just watching Vincent, who is still slightly quicker than Ant Woodward.
Right, he's closing on him.
Well, he's still got 5 seconds to go, but that could... Oh, Johnny Brandon. Four-wheel drift.
Really?
Oh, hello.
That was a strike, wasn't it?
Was that Tyler?
Or Ant? I mean, you hear it every so often, don't you?
Where's Tyler?
Oh yeah. He must. Oh, and again. He must have got the inside wall at the hairpin.
It definitely was Tyler, yes.
I mean, you don't really want to be picking up dints after your pit stop, do you? You don't want to pick them up at all, really, but yeah.
No, but he's got to do something to get back to Johnny, so...
True.
This track more than most, I think, there's a line, isn't there, and you cross the line, you get some damage. Unlike a Tilka track where you cross the line and end up in another postcode, but all safe and sound and fluffy and cuddly.
Yeah. Someone to give you a hot chocolate to make you feel better about things.
Yeah. And tell you it's not the winning, it's the taking part.
That was a very bizarre attempt at an overtake from Bob Woodhouse, unless he was just trying to scare the bejesus out of Rob then.
Or maybe he scared the bejesus out of himself.
Yeah, on this track that's easily done, isn't it? So 20 minutes to go. And a few battles that could and usually do come to something at the end of this race. So I think Vincent and Simon are going to catch Ant Woodward at the same time, I think. Although Ant Woodward's doing reasonable laps at the minute, isn't he? He's going toe-to-toe with them at least.
Yeah. I just think perhaps Vincent and Simon can do it every lap.
Right.
Whereas Ant, may drop a few tenths every 2 or 3 laps. I don't think Tyler's got anything for Johnny, unless Johnny can pull off some sort of snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. But I don't think the third step on the podium is done and dusted.
No, I don't either. You look at that series of lap times. Excuse me, I got a hiccup. And 121.3 for Ant, 121.1 for Vincent. So 2/10 shed there. And then a 120.6. So half a second Simon Trendle is hauled in.
Yeah, and the trouble for Ant is twofold. The deeper you get into this race, and you're on for a podium position, which is absolutely fantastic. You start piling pressure on yourself. Then you're looking at your gap, and the gap is coming down, so there's more pressure.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, carry on.
And you can end up losing time that you don't have to lose time because you're worrying about things that are out of your control.
Yeah. Bob, what else?
It's very easy to sit in the booth and say it, but you know, ideally you want to get your blinkers on, ignore the gaps, and just drive the fastest laps that you can possibly drive to the end. And
but you'd have to switch off all your telemetry, wouldn't you, in order to achieve that? Nobody does that.
But by doing that, it will either be good enough or it won't be.
Yeah. Bob Woodhouse has finally got the better of Rob Venn there.
Yeah, so that's up to 7th.
And 3.4 seconds up the road is Andrew Wood.
Okay. Tyler has sort of stabilised that gap to Johnny, so I think Johnny may just be eking a little bit of fuel saving now.
Yeah, it's definitely in his favour now, isn't it? Tyler's got some damage on this car now. Left hand side of it, rear, around the rear quarter panel is all scratched up, and the right hand side in the middle of the door is where he collided with the hairpin wall, I think. And that one. Just maybe he's trying to just even it up.
Yeah, perhaps it was pulling one way or the other, so put some damage on the other side and get it straight again.
Yeah. I think he'll be raging with himself if that's caused any damage, obviously. I mean, he's got no real pressure behind, has he? It's 7 seconds. It's pressure on himself right now, isn't it? To either maintain the position or close in on a very, very fast moving Johnny Brandon.
Yeah, you get in that mindset now, don't you, that, you know, he's quicker than me, there's nothing I can do, but I still want to be in a position that if a mistake does happen, I've got a chance to capitalise on it.
Yeah.
You know, he can ease off now to 95% and cruise round the last 15 minutes and take home a second place. But if Johnny has a spin or something like that and he's too far behind to capitalise, then he'll kick himself.
Yes. I mean, I think the car, other than Johnny Brown in the car, that with the least amount of damage and the fastest overall pace is, no surprise, Simon Trendle. I just don't know now that there's enough laps left in this for him to quite get onto the podium. I think he's got the chance to get onto Vincent Skilbeck, but he'd have to do really, really clean laps every lap.
Yeah, Vincent's not closing on and as quickly as he was.
No. I think the best of what he had is gone.
And that again is another problem, you know, with this car and especially on this track, that, yeah, you can bang in your first 5 laps, you know, phenomenal laps, but you're going to suffer for it later on in the run.
Yeah. Who was it in the first race that... Oh, I think it might have been Vincent, actually, was it?
Yeah.
That was absolutely tearing up the time sheet and throwing it over his shoulder at the start, and then started dropping back and further back and further back.
Then bits fell off his car.
Yeah. Right, well, I've run out of beer, Clyde, so I'm going to go and get a beer. I'll leave you watching Simon Trendle dicing with death, really. He's very close to these walls now. Won't be long.
Okie dokie. So yeah, Simon is about 3 seconds behind Vincent. Johnny Brandon currently leads with just over 12 minutes to go. Tyler New in a comfortable second at the moment. Ant Woodward third, Vincent Skilbeck fourth, and Simon Trendle rounds out your top five. Pole sitter Andrew Wood in sixth, Bob Woodhouse in seventh, Rob Venn eighth, Bram Dubois in ninth, Stacey Boyd 10th. Michael Campbell retired, and Ivan Batmans didn't start this race. Right, who is that? That's going to be Bram Dubois. I don't suspect Bram is going to get in Simon's way once Simon is close enough. It would be different if there was another NQR car in front of Bram and he was a running tail gunner for him, but he's not. Bram does that in an ideal place on the track. Now wants to chop in behind Simon Trendle and try and see, maybe learn a few things. But Simon Trendle has definitely got Vincent in his sights now. It's down to about 2 seconds. And interestingly, the gap Vincent to Ant Woodward is going out again. And this little battle that is going to brew up here between Vincent and Simon Trendle could play right into Ant Woodward's hand and his chase for the podium. Because if the battle goes on for a lap or two, Ant Woodward's going to be gone. There'll be no catching him.
Well, I didn't expect to come back and see Simon Trendle on the back of Vincent.
Yeah, I was literally just saying this could almost guarantee Ant Woodward the podium finish.
Yeah, actually.
Because I can't see Vincent rolling over here.
No. So did he make an error?
No. This is pure pace from Simon Trendle from what I can see.
I mean, yeah, he was 1.2 seconds faster on that last lap. So maybe it's similar to what happened to Vincent in race 1, where he had really, really fast early tyre, I'll call it, I don't know. Early stint, laps, pace, and then it just died away.
Yeah, Ant Woodward is going to be a fully paid up member of the Vincent Skilbeck fan club for the next few laps.
Yeah.
We'll just have a look at incident points whilst I've got an opportunity. Well, I would if I could find my mouse.
Oh, Vincent! Oh, he's doing his best to crash that car.
Yeah, and he did his best to get in the way as well.
Yeah, he might keep this.
Keep that position.
And I think he might do. You're right, Clyde. He's fighting this the whole way. He obviously feels he's got the... Who's that straight on at the... You see that? It was Bram.
Yeah.
It was Bram. Right, let me get back to where we were. Yeah, Bram Dubois went straight on there.
Yeah, Bram did a Pete Bingham there. He was on the GP loop.
Yeah. I've been in that particular little dead end a few times. Right, so Simon Trundle trying to thinks he looks a lot better with a number 4 next to his name than a number 5.
There was after that mistake, there was a full-on block from Vincent.
Oh yeah. I might have another look at it if I can find anything. It records everything else apart from the things it needs to, by the way, this SDK at the minute. Oh, he's just tagged the wall again, has he?
I'm not sure if he does. I think that's an iRacing thing, and Vincent's ping.
Yeah. Right, so Simon's got it all to do kind of again, hasn't he? What's going on behind?
That will be Bob Woodhouse getting past Andrew Wood.
Yeah, literally just as I joined it, that was the aftermath. Let's have a look and see how he did this. Oh, Andrew. Oh, yeah. I know it's already happened, but it still catches me out. He'd done well there, actually.
He did, yeah. That could have easily been major damage in the wall.
Yeah, nicely controlled. Love it. And that's the thing, isn't it? Just a little bit more pressure from the car behind, and it's amazing what can happen. Someone who's got no pressure at all at the minute. Johnny Brandon, resplendent in first place. Tyler Newitt, no real pressure at all in second. Ant Woodward, you've got to say, is suited and booted for a podium position. But this one is still going. Oh.
Yeah, Simon's in full attack mode. Vincent is in full defence mode.
And that really was before. You're not having it from Vincent Skilbeck. He came right across the track. But he only did one move across the track, Clyde, so it was all above board.
Yeah,
above board.
yeah, I don't think there was anything wrong with it at all.
Simon Trundle loves that sweeping outside line. It straightens his car up, ready for the braking zone for turn 1, and it seems like it gets him a tenth or two just in that little section. He might be getting on for mounting a new attack here. How long's left? 5 whole minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, 4.5 minutes. So.
Oh yeah.
4 laps.
You get a face full of smoke on each corner, don't you?
Yeah.
He's just slowly mounting an attack, and I've heard some of the drivers say that even when you get this close, the aero wash on these cars now is pretty bad. Right, so here we go. Can he do anything? Hands are crossed over probably, and he's not got off the corner well there.
Yeah, I think he just dislocated his shoulder.
I think he must have done. The wheel went round about 6 times. It's not normal. I mean, Vincent's launch off that corner was awesome, really. But all that advantage is gone now because Simon's decided, I need this.
Well, he does, doesn't he? You know, it's going to be double win from Johnny Brandon, so he's taking home maximum points. I don't think anybody's ever won this championship 3 seasons on the trot.
I don't know. I'd have to look back, but I think you're probably right. I don't remember it. Tony Klusterman maybe, right at the start of ES.
No, that was
ESC.
2.
Was that 2, was it? Right, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a bit even, but I think out on the dirty
Yeah,
stuff, Simon's got no grip.
you get some good drive where Vincent was.
Yeah, nice attempt though from Simon. You got to change it up so that the driver in front is trying to second guess what you're going to achieve or attempt or whatever. I mean, this is the battle to watch. Through some of these turns, there's only one line. That was a bit of a touch on the wall from Simon, definitely that time. It's literally just come up on SDK that Vincent Skilbeck has crashed. I don't know how long that delay is on SDK.
Well, our leader is, I think, about to get the white flag.
That 5 minutes certainly disappeared quickly, didn't it?
Not 100% sure, I didn't see it, but...
Oh, Simon's trying a different line. And it didn't do him much good. Stacey Boyd in the pits. There's his car. But yeah, last lap. Johnny Brandon coming back the other way from those two. That's a funny little camera angle, isn't it? I picked up one going one way and the other one coming back. Tyler, some way back. And Woodward not that far behind Tyler now, actually. He's taking some time out of Tyler there. And then Vincent Skilbeck under all sorts of pressure still. Doing well under the pressure though, isn't he, really?
It's a... yeah, he's not even... apart from that block, he's not really had to defend that hard. He's just positioning his car in the correct places.
Yes. Johnny, ooh, where's Johnny?
Yeah, that was the checkered flag.
Yeah.
So it's all or nothing now for Simon Trendle. But no, it looks like Vincent got a decent drive off there, so
yeah, every lap.
he's not going to do it.
Yeah, every lap for Vincent. That was lovely driving to stay ahead of Simon Trendle, and really good driving from Simon to pile on pressure like that in a fair and consistent manner, you know.
Yeah, and obviously all helping Ant Woodward secure a podium place.
Yep. Over the line for Bob Woodhouse. You could say that's a bit of a victory, really, seeing as he was driving a wrecked car, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Andrew Wood over the line. Rob Venn, not really that far behind in the end. He's taken out a good amount of time out of Andrew Wood's lead.
Yeah, and obviously Rob will be the last finisher as well. Because I think Stacey's still in the pits.
Yes, he is, yes. Not sure what inspired that, but he jumped to the pits. You can have a look at something here.
So I heard a bang, but I don't know where it was from.
I think he slid through turn one, looking at where the incident camera has taken us. Oh, right, he's done what Andrew Wood did.
Yeah.
Foot on the brake. Yeah, nice one. I do that as well, you know. You don't know where the wall is, do you? But he's tried to get out of the way for Johnny Brown and then reset the car. Okay, fair enough. Right then, so let me see if we can get some. That's a nice view, isn't it? Looking out over those crane thingies. Oh, Clyde has left the room. I don't know where he is. So right, I'll get on with this then, shall I? Oh, where did you go?
Sorry, wrong button.
Is that right? Wrong button. Right, is it going to give me results this time? SDK has been miles behind all day. There we go. Right, so Johnny Brandon is your victor for round 12, the feature race here at Long Beach for XVR OAPs. Tyler Newitt finished second for BSTV Esports Green on a great drive, very consistent. Ant Woodward on a third place podium finish there for NQR Europe with Vincent Skilbeck in fourth for Wheelie Bins Mayhem Republic, defending hard and very fairly and very well from a fifth place Simon Trendle for Team Chimera. Bob Woodhouse finished sixth in a monster recovery drive, converting his beach buggy back into a V8 for NQR Europe. Andrew Wood finished seventh for Team Chimera. Rob Venn finished 8th for BSTV Esports Green. Bram Dubois finished in 9th for NQR Europe. 10th was Stacey Boyd. 11th was Michael Campbell. And a non-starter, Clyde, Ivan Batmans.
Yeah, I just had a look at the Discord chat, and he had some technical issues, so
right.
he couldn't make the second race. But yeah, that was... I didn't expect Johnny Brandon to win it by that much, if I'm honest. It was all in that pit stop, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Ant Woodward, I think that was a great drive from Ant. Good drive from Andrew Wood as well. I say some good recoveries from Simon Trendle. And also Bob Woodhouse. So, yeah, a bit of everything in that race.
Yeah, I thought that there would have been more crashes. We had one fairly scary moment, didn't we? With, I think, Rob Venn at the front of it. Lost his car on the bumps and looped it a little bit, and then provided a soft surface for everybody to crash into, Clyde.
Yeah, that usually, that early on in the lap, with the cars all bunched up together, that usually ends up a lot worse than it actually did. The drivers that were involved in it will say it ended up terrible, but I think most drivers were lucky enough to get away with that.
Yeah. I'd agree with that one. And I think Long Beach, I don't know, I don't remember a boring race at Long Beach. It's always high drama. I mean, you look at the start of the race on the replay here, and Michael Campbell, he got a really bad drive off, and then a bit mobbed, and must have thought, good grief, I'm going to end up right at the very back here. And then into turn one, all hell breaks loose. So it can change just as quick as that at Long Beach, and I thought that was thoroughly enjoying.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter who you are, what your I rating is, what your skill level is. Round Long Beach, and to be honest, most of the street circuits, there is a mistake in everybody at any time. Yeah. So it's one of those it's not over till the fat lady sings tracks, is it?
Yeah.
You can be a minute in front of the everybody, and one slight tap on the wall and iRacing goes, your car's wrecked.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's game over.
It is. I was just watching the turn one incident there, and Bob Woodhouse.
Yeah, Simon Trendle was the most unlucky one.
He did everything right, didn't he?
Let's say he's missed it. He's missed it. I'll go round him. Oh, he's reversed into me. Oh, and turned me as well.
Yeah. He must have thought that there's nothing else I can possibly do here. It's done now. But yes, and let Tyler get away and give Tyler some excellent points in the championship. But I don't think he's in there for winning it, is he? At the minute, it's very much a Simon Trendle, Johnny Brandon, and a bunch of others in the running for that at the moment.
Yeah, and you can only see that going all the way to the end of the season, can't you?
I think so, yeah, because just looking into that standings situation again, Bob Woodhouse, he did all right in the first race, did he? I can't remember actually.
Where was he? Where was he?
No
He
idea now.
was sixth.
Sixth. So maybe not done
Oh,
as.
sorry, no, that was the feature race. He was fourth.
All right. In that case, he's done all right because he'll probably maintain his third position in the championship, but he'll drift further off Johnny and Simon. No Victor, no Tony, no Jamie, like you said before the broadcast launched, and then Ant Woodward, who will have mopped up a mega amount of points compared to the people in front of him. So I think we can see Ant Woodward move significantly forward in the standings, as will Vincent Skilbeck. He's fourth in this one. I don't remember fully where he ended. He was a podium finisher in the first race. So I think the standings are going to change significantly after this race.
I think you could be right. So I'll tell you what, let's get these interviews underway. We haven't got race winner in. So I'll let you start with Vincent Skilbeck for a change.
Oh, right, excellent. So, contrary to what we normally do, it's usually last in the middle.
Morning.
I know, morning. Yeah, I missed that. Vincent Skilbeck, how are you doing? That was an intense second race, wasn't it? Although you could probably say that both of them were, to be honest.
Yeah, I was actually pretty happy with my races tonight. Yeah, keeping up with Johnny and Simon was pretty fun.
Yeah, there was a few occasions of removal of various panels from your car and boot lids and spoilers, and it didn't seem to affect you at all. You drove probably 2/3 of that first race with no rear end on the car whatsoever. Didn't whether that was on our screens. You've said before that on your screen it was there, it was present, it was doing what it should, but on ours not there. And some left front damage, which you repeated pretty early on in race 2. So the left front damage looked like you were still driving the car from race 1, but you decided to throw the boot lid away and the spoiler in the second race up until your pit stop. So you've done remarkably well, given the fact that you were in a number of scrapes in both races. The standout moment for me and Clyde, I think, was race 2. You got it a bit misshapen, coming up and over and round the right-hander in the middle of the track before you get on the back straight. And you did some very, very bold and very brave defending, and that really is what sewed up your race 2 podium. Race 2 fourth place, sorry.
Yeah, I'll go first race. I didn't know I didn't have a boot lid. Probably why the car felt pretty bad at the end. I felt like I had no front end at all in both races at the end. But yeah, first race, I just sat back. I did get 2 slowdowns at turn 1, which inevitably let me let Simon back through for P2. So that's how he got that spot. Otherwise, I may have held him off the whole race. But yeah, I just got 2 slowdowns at turn 1. Race 2, could not avoid the carnage at turn 1. So car was pretty hurt. I knew I didn't have a rear end. After that, the car, it felt all right. I just did what I was normally doing, driving the car. I found Long Beach is a track that rewards your throttle control. So I just had to be a little bit more careful on my throttle. So through the 2, 3, 4 section, I was anywhere between 3/4 throttle and half throttle. I was never full throttle. Just to keep the tyres alive and help me from spinning around with no rear end. But yeah, that little bit at the end with Simon coming onto the back straight, I did lock up just before I turned in, hit the wall. I knew Simon would try get me at that point, and I thought, nah, I'm gonna defend as hard as I can. I did move back over coming into the braking zone, but I think I only moved to the middle of the track, so that I think was all right. by my standards. Simon might say otherwise, but yeah, if I hadn't have done that, yeah, I think Simon would have easily got me by the end.
I think your defending was reasonable. As I said to Clyde, you did one movement, and yeah, you've got to come back onto the racing line at some point. But I thought that was perfectly fine. You appeared to have ridiculously fast race pace at the very start of the stints, and I don't mean like lap 1 and lap 2. I mean lap 3 and plus, up until a point where you seem to be losing time to other cars later on in the stint. Is that something that you noticed, or did you think that you were fairly consistent across the piece?
Yeah, it was something I did notice towards the last like 5-10 laps of the stint. I noticed the front didn't feel too well, which was meaning I was struggling to turn in or just getting understeer through the corners. I don't know what I've done with the setup. It felt pretty good through the week doing stuff for Scops on a really hot track. But just, yeah, coming to here, I changed the setup slightly just to help with the cooler track. The setup was slightly different again. In race 2, I put it a little bit stiffer, which helped a little bit. But yeah, I don't know why the front end felt so weird. It's never done that to me throughout this season so far, so I'll have to try to figure that one out. But yeah, apart from that, I thought my lap times were pretty consistent unless I made a mistake and it was like a second off the pace. But every time I was trying to be within half a second my fast time if I could help it, so yeah.
No, it's all good. And it's always brilliant and a privilege to watch you racing because you race properly. And you know, you try for your positions. There's no gifting anything away, and that's what we like to see. How is your Scops going?
Today was meant to be the last round of our Enduros. My teammate unfortunately is unable to make it today, so we had to pull out. It was going to be Long Beach here today, so we would have had 2 93 lap races to do today. We had actually done it, which would have been very interesting. So that's what I kind of set my car up for, is the long race pace. But yeah, the 2 Enduros we have done, we've finished on the lead lap and we have not DNF'd, so we were pretty happy with that. And I think my season so far has gone semi-decent, I think. Last time I checked the standings, I think I was just within the top 50 of 100 and something drivers, so I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah, you should be. And more things to celebrate here. A 4th in the feature race and a podium finish in the first race. Anybody you want to shout out to before we let you go and start your practice? Obviously. For, where did I say it was before? Was it Miami Road Course? Yeah, Miami Road Course. Course B, I think it is. Because we know you'll just, instantly go and start practicing on that one. So anybody to shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, just everyone over at Wheelie Bins, everyone in the league for the good racing this season, Simability for sponsoring the season again, and you guys for the broadcast.
Awesome stuff. In that case, we will see you next time out in BSTV at Miami, and you'll see yourself moving up the standings quite a lot because this track's put a few people off tonight. It can be a crash fest, and they've stayed away, I think, some of them because of that. And it's gone in your favour, so well done. Vincent Skillback, everybody.
Yeah, catch you guys next round.
Okay, so next up, let's bring in double race winner Johnny Brandon. Welcome to the booth.
Hello.
Hello. So, best possible points haul tonight in your quest for another championship. You can never say that a race is easy around here, but lights to flag victory in race 1. What was it like from the driver's seat?
Yeah, it was easy.
There
No,
you go.
it wasn't. I got off the line well, and then I was slightly put off by Vincent behind me, sort of bouncing off walls like a pinball machine, which I'm sure he wasn't. But with his connection being in Australia, it was looking in my rearview mirror. He was riding the walls and smashing. I thought, oh, that's him gone. The next minute, he's right up behind me again.
Yeah.
I just couldn't quite work it out. And I'm not knocking him, because fair play to him for turning up, being in Australia at ridiculous o'clock in the morning. At least he can turn up. But yeah, so I was just driving, looking after the tyres, because that's the thing. It's so easy to make a mistake around here, and it's so hard to overtake nowadays in this car with the changes that iRacing have done. It's I've kind of ruined the racing a little bit, unfortunately. So I knew I was sort of comfortable and he wasn't going to get past. So yeah, just sort of cruised it.
Yeah, and then race 2 sort of surprised me a bit. You did. I know there was some help with some crashing, but you did fantastically well at the start of the race. Starting 10th, and I think I looked up to see where you was, and I was looking around 8th or 9th, and I couldn't find you. So then I looked at the back, and then I looked at it, and I thought, oh, he's 4th already. And then once everything shook out, and I sort of was saying on the broadcast that you had the pace on Tyler, but Tyler's a bit of a tactical wizard sometimes, and I expected him to do something different, and then after the pit stop, she was, I think, 2.5 seconds in front of him, and I'm like, oh, what's gone on here then?
I Tylered him.
You did. You out Tylered Tyler. And I was trying to work out, as Johnny underfueled his car and he's going to see what happens and save fuel, or as Tyler overfueled so he can just smash laps out of the park. But none of that really sort of bore fruit, for want of a better word, and you just seem to have the pace and drive away from him.
Yeah, it was. I got a dream start. I think the crash gave me one position. I just sort of went down the outside. I don't know if you obviously didn't see it, but I've already watched it back myself on a replay. I went straight down the outside, and I think I got past about 5 cars into turn 1. Then the crash happened, and I was up into 4th. Then sort of struggled a little bit, but managed to get past Ant when his tyres started, where he was making little mistakes. But when I got up behind Tyler, it's I knew that it wasn't going to be. Tyler's not an easy man to get past. If he knows what he's doing, like you say. And so I thought, okay, just sit here. And then when you add in the iRacing thing, where you just lose all aero, so you lose all traction and braking ability and everything behind another car. It's such a shame, and that's new for this season. It never used to be like that, and it's been at every track. I think it's worse at some than others, but it was quite bad here. So you cannot get past unless somebody makes a mistake. So I was saving a little bit, and but not too much, but just sort of cruising. And because I pitted earlier and him had the tyre advantage, I managed to undercut him. And then I just sort of went 90% for the rest of the race and made him have to push to catch me. And then that's when the mistakes happened. And 90% I could just drive around without any mistakes. So, yeah.
And did you,
worked out.
Your pit stop, was that planned? Because I happened to be watching you round the last corner before your pit stop, and you was a bit wild and out of shape, and I was 50-50 in my mind as to whether you was planning on pitting on that lap, or
I clipped that wall, didn't I? On the inside.
You was that out of shape that your car was pointing towards the pit, so you thought, oh, sod it, I'll just go in.
I knew I was going in. I mean, it wasn't necessarily planned, because I knew I wanted to pit early because I was behind him. And I literally, on that lap, just looked at my my fueling page in the black boxes, because that's all I use. And the auto fuel number was I could pit and put that auto fuel amount in. So I was like, right, I'm going in. And I was quite surprised Tyler didn't, because I could have actually gone the lap before, and I was quite gutted. So I really expected Tyler to go in, to get in early, and then I would have struggled to get past him, and he didn't. So I went, and then I just knew all I needed was a good out lap. And I thought Tyler would have been saving fuel, as Tyler does, but he didn't appear to, because I come out a couple of seconds ahead of him, and yeah, then that was it. It's so difficult to overtake now in these cars. But yeah, I just cruised it.
Yeah, well, like I say, a couple of decent races from you, clawed some points back on Simon Trendle.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get back to that after my steering wheel debacle.
Well, we'll see. We got some funny tracks coming up, so you never know. I've got a message from Old Man O'Connor.
Oh no.
Who says, tell Johnny that Juicy Lucy sends hugs. I have no idea what that's about, but I'll let you work that one out with him.
As a lot of old people do nowadays, Juicy Lucy is going to cost him a lot of money. That's all I'll say.
Right. So, any shout-outs you want to give before we let you go?
Juicy Lucy.
Excellent.
Obviously, you guys for the broadcast, Simability, all my teammates and everybody else that turned up to race. There wasn't a lot of numbers tonight, which was a bit of a shame compared to previous weeks. Not quite sure why that was, but
I think a lot of people are frightened of this track.
Well, if you're not scared of this car, you shouldn't be scared of any tracks. Yeah, just, you guys for doing everything and running it, and like I say, everybody else for turning up. It was a good race.
Excellent. Well, congratulations on 2 big wins tonight, Johnny Brandon.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay, next up for you, Pete. Let's bring in another podium finisher, Simon Trendle.
Good evening, Simon Trendle. How are you doing?
Good evening. How are you? I'm fine.
Excellent stuff. Quite an eventful night. Race 1, you got away pretty well. Stayed in a second place position for quite a long time, chasing Johnny Brandon down. At the end of that first race, you were about 0.8 of a second behind him over the line. Kept him honest. I'm sure you'd have wanted better out of that race. I'm convinced of it, actually. Tell us about race 1 first before we get on to race 2 and the shenanigans of that.
Yeah. Race 1 was pretty straightforward. I didn't have a great qualifying. Really struggled around here. I genuinely don't think I could have gone any faster. So third was where I belong, and that put me behind Vincent. So I was behind Vincent for a bit, just watching, because I needed to find out what his connection was feeling like doing today.
Yeah.
So I was sort of observing for a bit and just sort of trying not to destroy my tyres. So I was sitting back, and I think he got a slowdown, which we think was with pit exit crossing the line. It's the only place we can think of getting one here. I can't think of anywhere else where you get a black flag.
You do get told off and your knuckles wrapped if you cross the blue line at pit lane exit. You can pick them up on the inside of turn 1 if you go too much over the big bump, but you would know that because your car would be destroyed. So it has to be that, which is he said he had 2 in the second race as well. So yeah.
So that was that, and then I was chasing after Johnny. Wasn't really making much inroads into him, really. I was putting a 10th maybe here or there. Some laps I'd be equal with him, I'd pour a 10th or 2. And then the gap closed in the last 3 or 4 laps because Johnny obviously knew he had the gap and wasn't pushing anymore. So that closed the gap, and that's what made it look like I was closer than I probably should have been at the end. I'd maybe put it back to 2 seconds, so he gave up like 1.5, just being careful, I guess.
Right, I see. And Vincent's just confirmed on the YouTube chat that it was pit lane exit where he was picking up his slowdowns. And then race 2 happened. And I think Clyde shed a tear on your behalf because you literally did everything right and Bob Woodhouse reversed his car into the rear quarter panel of your car, and you lost a bag full of places.
Yep, he said he's apologised, which is fine. I know he didn't mean to. He genuinely thought the field had squeezed through, and obviously I'd been a bit more patient than that because I didn't need to charge through. I was, quite happy. If that had worked out, I'd have been at the back, but I'd have been right on the tail, and I could have worked my way back through.
Yeah.
But yeah, got tapped on the rear, put me in the wall. I can't remember if I stalled the car or not doing that, but yeah, and then I was chasing down, and then I made my silly error where I went into the wall myself, but that was caused by me failing to blip the car properly and having a failed downshift, which means I was in third, not second.
Is this the one where you side slapped the wall?
I nosed into it and then so I side slapped it. Yeah.
Oh right, yeah. We did see that one.
Whether it's turn 8 or whatever, 9, 10, somewhere around there. Yeah, just one mistake, failed to blip hard enough because it's down into second, which is quite a high rev, so you have to really give it a good stab on the throttle to get it down to second. Yeah. And I just didn't do it enough, and it was still in third. And then because I didn't have the engine braking, I was just going in way too fast, and it's like I'm going into that wall then, no good. Yeah. And then sort of the panic there, where there's oh crap, now I've got to get the car going, and looking at the relative to make sure I'm not going to reverse out into anyone. Yeah, and then that was that.
Yeah, well, at least it wasn't Virginia, because if you'd done that at Virginia, you'd have been in a different postcode, and it'd have taken you 20 minutes to get back to the track. At least you got a lovely, like, concrete or sometimes rubber tyre lined wall round here to keep you clean. But fifth in the second race, and chasing down Vincent Skilbeck, who defended ruggedly at the end. He had good pace. He really did. He had good pace in the first race as well. But just a few mistakes and a few slowdowns brought you together, and that carried on right to the end of the race. I don't know how many laps it was, maybe about 15, where you were both playing a bit of car chess with one another, and Vincent's very bold block. I called it as being fair. He moved once across the track and once back to the racing line. What's your take on that one?
It's marginal, but it was fine.
Right.
I've got to take into account there's net code and things, so it might not have looked as bad on his end. So I don't know, but it's fine. I went to the other side. He didn't go off and then block me down that side. So yeah, I'm fine with that.
Right.
It's on the limit, but it's fine.
Yeah, well, you have to be on the limit.
There's got to be a limit somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's where it is. So that's fine.
Yeah. But again, good point scoring. Sadly, that Brandon boy, he's good at scoring points, isn't he, this season? So he'll stretch that lead a little away from you, but not so that he's beyond the horizon. Next time out, we go to Miami Road Course.
Do we really?
Yeah, I don't even remember it. Clyde was saying that we've been there before. I couldn't tell you. Do you remember driving it yourself or not?
Yeah, I've driven it loads. Is it the B or A or short B version?
It's B.
Oh gosh, we've got the full oval and then the depth entry into turn 1 off the oval.
Sounds great.
And fantastic. Everyone's. I mean, you talk about going into a wall here. If you go off there, you're going around the oval.
Brilliant. I can't wait. What about you, Clyde?
I'm there already.
You're there already.
I'm actually looking at it as we
really?
speak.
Okay, right, cool.
Imagine that it's Daytona, but it's half as sharp when they're coming off the oval.
Oh,
so you're going even faster.
That sounds brilliant. Well, I'm going to look forward to it, even if you don't. So, anybody you want to shout out to before we let you go? Andrew Wood did very well. Is he in the chat or not? I don't know.
He was. Yeah, he's now still. Yeah, now. Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, give him an interview. He had an interesting race trying to score points while Jamie wasn't here, who doesn't get a thank you for not turning up because he's getting old and damaged his foot.
Oh, it's his foot. It's not his back.
Is it his foot? Oh, I thought it was his wrist.
Oh, I mean, it could be that. He might be lying. You never know.
We've got inside information that for his birthday, he got the Kama Sutra solo edition.
Oh, dear, that's funny.
Has he told you about my gifts?
No.
Yeah. Also,
dear.
thank you to my smoke alarm, which decided to fit 10 minutes into the feature race to start going the low battery alarm, so it was beeping every minute, which drove me up the wall.
You want to
Oh,
throw that out the window straight away.
That's dedication. The house is on fire, but I'm finishing this race.
Yeah, ignore it. It's
no,
fine.
no fire, just the low battery alarm.
Yeah. Oh dear. Well, after all those distractions and Vincent Skillback and Johnny Brandon and all the others, you've done remarkably well tonight, considering what it could have been. We look forward to seeing you next time out, Simon Trundle, at Miami Road Course in a couple of weeks' time. Thanks for tonight.
Yep, see you then, guys. Thank you.
Okay, we've got lots of podium finishes tonight, so let's bring in Tyler Newitt. Welcome to the booth.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I am pretty good, all things considered.
Okay, all recovered from the latest sex cult meeting?
Yeah, I picked up COVID there too, so it was, yeah, no, we're all good.
Excellent. Right, so let's talk about the racing. Race 1, started 5th, finished 5th. Surely it wasn't that boring.
No, it was. I just stared at the bumper of Rob Woodhouse's car for 30 minutes and nothing happened. So
yeah, we did see, you was, should we say, making a nuisance of yourself, but it's just really difficult to pass, isn't it?
yeah, I think the biggest problem is that it seems like when you're following, you lose traction out of corners, and specifically the hairpin. I mean, it was really interesting because that whole first race, Rob was way better out of the hairpin than me, and I thought it was just me or my setup or something. And then in the second race, I could pull away from Johnny exiting the hairpin. Like it just seemed like you couldn't get the power down when you were behind somebody, and there aren't many places to pass, and if you can't get a run into turn 1, that's about 50% of them gone. So yeah, I mean, credit to Rob, I put pressure on him for pretty much the whole race, ebbing and flowing as I had to cool the tires down and stuff, but he didn't flap. He was solid. So
okay, so on to race 2. So started 6th and fairly rapidly found yourself leading the race.
I had the start of my life, and I will never, ever have a start that good again. And I regret that I could not turn it into a win.
Well, that was where I was going. I'm going to say normally, Tyler Newitt leading a race means Tyler Newitt winning a race. But I don't know, it was like you was tactically out-Tylered by Johnny.
Yeah, it was a lose-lose situation for me because, I mean, the reason it was a lose-lose situation was because Johnny was just playing quicker than me, and the only way to do anything better in that race would have been to keep him behind me. So if I pit that lap, I reckoned I was about half a lap of fuel short, and normally that is fine, and obviously it worked for Johnny, but I didn't think I could save half a lap and keep him behind me. So my only hope was that he didn't short fill so much that he jumped me, but he did. So he then the only chance I had was to get him while he was saving his stuff, and I got pretty close, and then I lost sight of my turn-in point in turn 1 because Bram was coming out of the pits, and I panicked and got into the tire bundles pretty hard, and that was the end of that.
Was there no option to go long on the first stint?
Not if I wanted to win. No, the pace advantage that Johnny had was enough that overcutting I would not have been able to pull back the gap if I overcut him. The only option was to pit on the same lap or before, and he knew that. So he pulled the short pit and he pulled it off.
Okay. And you was on screens tonight?
Yeah, my eyes been bothering me, so I took a break from the VR, and I am pretty happy with how it went. I was nervous about turn one, with it just without the periphery and stuff, but it all went okay.
Yeah, well, not a bad haul of points today with a fifth and a second. So any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out to Rob Ben for actually sticking around, and no, it was good to chat with Rob. He had a tough day. I think he was had some meetings with the walls and other cars. So, but no, good to have him, and shout out to you guys for the broadcast as always.
Excellent. Well, congratulations on a fairly successful evening, Tyler Newitt.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, so we've got one more podium finisher for you, Pete, and that is Mr. Ant Woodward.
Yeah. Good.
Evening, fellas.
Evening. Right.
How good was that?
Too good. Whoa, what the hell's going on? Sixth in the first race. Let's talk about that. I think you started around about there, didn't you?
Oh, I can tell you. Don't think so.
No. Where did he start? Any ideas? Sixth. Right. Okay. So you maintained your start position.
Okay.
But that wasn't the full story, because you were in the thick of the battle with Tyler, and I think you'd like to have been battling with Bob Woodhouse, but Tyler was in the way.
Yeah, he got in the way.
Yeah,
fight there.
Pesky.
If he was the statistician he claims he was, he would have let me past.
Yeah,
because I would have just battered Bob out of the way.
You sounded like Pete after 3 baby shams.
I know, yeah.
Oh,
3.
I'm tired.
Never had 3. Usually asleep by the end of the second one. But second race, bit of a different story there. You started in, I'm gonna go with 5th or something. I don't know. Yeah. Turn 1 happened, whatever the hell that was. Rob then got too much curb, rotated his car a bit too much, and you squirreled yourself around the outside of all that, really, didn't you?
Yeah. I took some damage on the way past on the front left, but the car was good still.
Yeah.
Still doing laps.
Did you breathe in when you went through the gap?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, it's always good, isn't it? Yeah, it makes a difference. Makes a difference. And actually, you had a really solid, steady race all the way to the end. You had quite a lot of pressure from Vincent until there was no pressure from Vincent. He kind of relieved that himself from you, didn't he? He got a couple of slowdowns, I think, and he definitely found some walls. And then, you just kept your car clean. I thought Vincent might eat up that gap at one point, and for a very split second, he was doing. But like I say, then he wasn't. So, what do you put your consistency in the second race down to? Because getting a podium at Long Beach against these guys is no small feat. I know the field was reduced because people were scared or they had other real life things going on. But what do you put your consistency down to in that second race?
Yeah, everyone crashed.
Everyone
it's
crashed.
All,
there we go, Clyde.
It's awesome, isn't it?
Clyde, all he needs is for the entire field to crash each race.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
No, neither do I. That's why I brought you into the conversation.
I had to sort of go in, robot mode's the best, and just try not to go, too hard and burn off the tyres and just tick off the laps, basically. But yeah, I was put in a good position. What can I say? Everyone's crashed, and there I am. But I was, I just kept waiting for I was like, there's a name missing ahead of me, and it's Trendle, and I don't know where he is, and I was just waiting for him to appear on Relative and then drive past me, but it just never happened. So
no,
pretty good fun.
Yeah, he got stuck behind a Mr. Skillback, who did a fantastic job of defending. but yeah, very exciting racing from you in both races, really. Even though there was no movement in position in the first race, it didn't make it didn't take away from the excitement of the race. Miami is our next destination, road course at Miami, which Everwise Tyler has advised is a roval course. I can't even remember it. Have you ever been there?
No, I'll have to do some laps and see.
Yeah, I can't. I know I've got it because I've raced the actual oval there, but I've no idea about a road course there. But yeah, anybody you want to have a shout out to before we let you go and celebrate what is going to be a points haul which will move you up in the standings, because quite a few people ahead of you not here.
Yeah, they made a meme about me. I'm that guy with the bronze medal that over celebrates. So yeah, treating us like a win is fantastic. So
that is one of the best memes out there, by the way.
Oh, it's me all over that.
Yeah, champagne woman. Then the camera pans out and he's in third. It's class.
That's it.
Yeah,
so yeah, usual suspects, Stacey, Jack, Evie, the whole field. That was fun watching Bob's crash, listening to Bob moaning. Love that. That was fantastic. I thought, yeah, okay, now it's happened to me every race this season. Take it to the back, but no, good racing, and thanks to you guys for putting it on.
Awesome stuff. In that case, we will see you at a track neither of us can remember next time out at Woodward.
Cheers, boys.
Okay, so let's bring in Rob Woodhouse next. Welcome to the booth, Rob.
Hello there, guys.
How the devil are you?
Oh, yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Second race could have gone a bit better, but yeah, I'll take the finish.
Yeah, so race one, you maintained your position. However, there was more to that story than meets the eye. You was under a lot of pressure from Tyler for, shall we say, most of that race.
Yeah, because he was just so close. I just couldn't get into my rhythm. And I needed to brake a little bit earlier so I could run through the corners to get into my rhythm. But because he was so close, every braking zone I had to push it as deep as I could. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to hold him off. So I just couldn't, run the pace that I knew that I could and was able to.
Yeah.
But, it was just, done the best that I could. And it was all I could do was to hold him off.
Yeah, and that was good enough. And then race two was a bit more action-packed for you. So obviously started by Rob Venn, finished by you.
Yes.
And you ended up with possibly the worst looking car we have ever seen in this series.
Yeah. I mean, I hit him and then went into the wall, and then thought basically the bulk of the pack had gone by. Went to reverse up, and then I clipped Simon and lost the rear wing. I apologised to Simon. It was like, he didn't need to be caught up in that, and because he was probably on his way to skipping by. But as soon as I went to pull away after that, the car was just toast. It was. How I didn't have a meatball, I don't know. I mean, I think the first couple of laps I was like 22 seconds, 21 high. It was like I'd lost pretty much 2 seconds a lap. The car wouldn't go.
Well, I don't know whether you've actually looked at the state of the car, but if you haven't, when you do see it, you'll realise where all the pace had gone.
Yeah.
But again, you managed to hold on to it. Get in the pits, get your fast repair, and then you had some decent pace.
Yes, exactly. I think I set the third fastest lap and like 3 thousandths off of the second fastest lap. So the pace was good. I do feel there was a possible podium gone missing there tonight. But, it's the best I could do after being so far back was pull back to 6th. And then there was that, I don't know if it was caught on the broadcast, but myself and Bram had a almighty fudge up down the front straight where, he had a hell of a closing pace on me. 1 minute he was like a second back. I looked in the mirror, he was on my bumper. I tried getting out the way, which I shouldn't have done. and yeah, we collected each other. So yeah, quite frustrating. So then, by the time I pulled into the pits, the car was really
Yeah, you can't beat a blue on blue. But it doesn't get any easier, does it? Miami Road Course B next.
Yeah.
Not many people have driven that. Have you done any laps there?
No, I'm yet to buy it. I'll wait for the week of the officials and buy that and do a little bit of practice during the week and yeah, see how it goes.
Okay. Well, all I can really say is good luck. It's even if you just look at it, you can tell it's. I don't think it's going to be a driver's favourite, shall we say? But you. A tough-ish night for yourself tonight, but still, a half decent points haul with your decent position in the championship. But you've still got a lot to do, haven't you, to finish up there, and you need to get back on the podium again.
Yeah. I mean, it feels so far away. But I think from where I was, way off the back of the pack to come back to 6th, it was a pretty stellar drive. Just head down and just kept pushing, and I don't think I could have got any better from where I was. So yeah, quite happy.
Yeah, good drive in race 2 there. So any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Yeah, just all the team for just keeping pushing each other. Tony that can't make it this evening is away. Thoughts with him. And yeah, you guys in the booth as always, and everyone that turned up tonight. I know it's a thin grid, which has probably helped me out somewhat with the bad start to come back to 6th. But just shout out to all the guys.
Excellent. Yeah, always look for silver linings, mate. Always look for silver linings. Okay, Rob. Well, great to talk to you, and we'll catch you next time out.
Yeah, all the best. See you next round.
Okay, Pete. Next up for you, let's bring in race 2 pole sitter Andrew Wood.
Good evening, Andrew. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. How are you guys?
Yeah, not too bad. So race 1. Let's have a look at race 1. You were 10th, obviously, because you started on pole for the second race. Was it a bit of a rough ride back there? I can't remember. I think you ended up 1 lap down, didn't you?
Yeah, I got collected by Rob Venn when he missed turn 1.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Bounced off the tire barrier and I had smoke billowing from my car and everything, trying to get back to the pits.
Yeah, you were quick onto the scene. Clearly wanted to help a man distressed, but accidentally drove into his car because it was parked right across your path. We were smoking when I caught up with you just after that, and then you pitted the car, did you? I can't remember. Yeah, you must.
Yeah, I had a meatball, so I had to fix it.
So that was race 1. So we'll pretend that never happened, and we'll focus our attention on race 2 because that was a completely different story. You set off really well in the second race. You were just about out of the carnage, weren't you? For what happened in turn 1, and then some of those pesky fast cars, they came through on you as you went through. You pitted at the same time as a whole bunch of other cars, if I remember right, and eventually scored yourself a 7th place, which, given the company you're in, is a pretty good result.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you guys caught it, but I did pass for 10th place on the last laps. I stole it from Stacy, so I thought that it was 10th place, and no one in our group chat was telling me that I was going to be on pole, so I'm like, do I just put myself in the fire, or do I just sit here and wait? But I think even though I have no confidence in starting on the pole position, especially hearing all of Jamie's woes all the time about it, I was like, it's going to happen to me sometime, so why not on a track that I kind of sort of know what I'm doing, just from racing this track and other cars. But yeah, so I got lucky too that there was no one to my right on the start as well. Going to turn 1, I saw them all kind of swarming in the rear view, and I actually thought I touched Ven in turn 1 when he lost it. I tried to give him as much room as I could, and I think he might have just touched the curb.
Oh, he didn't just touch it. He did a big
They
bear hug on him.
molested it.
Yeah, inappropriate.
Okay.
That was inappropriate touching. And it kicked his car like miles into the sky.
Wonder if I crowded him or not. That was kind of my thing. But
no, definitely not.
Yeah. So I guess that gave me a little bit of a buffer. I did pretty well through the first few corners. Like I didn't just lay down and let everyone go, but I was trying my best to just keep up. I was running a pretty healthy fourth with some good pace. After a while, kind of hanging out behind Johnny and I believe it was Ant that was up there as well.
Yeah. What happened at the end of the start-finish straight when Simon was approaching?
Yeah,
you snatched a break, did you?
Yeah, it snatched the brake just the tiniest little bit. I think I think I missed the brake point by just like a blink of an eye, and I kind of panicked and hit the brake a little harder and downshifted a little too fast, and I actually thought I was going to make the corner. Then as I was downshifting to third, it grabbed the rear and just put me in the wall a little bit. I actually drove around with the meatball for quite a few laps, but the pace really wasn't more than maybe like a half second slower. I was just kind of monitoring the gap behind me. Still had Ven and Bram still the same amount back. They weren't closing on me. It was just Bob really that I was waiting to gauge when I wanted to pit. So he pit, and then I was like, I got to come in now because I know with brand new tires and with his car fix, he'll catch me in no time. Actually went too far forward in my box too. I was trying to change the fuel and kind of lost track of where I was going. So kind of a comedy of errors for a few laps there. But as soon as I came out on the fresh tires, I started picking up the pace really, really well, actually. And I had another pretty deep braking into turn 1 and kind of had to turn out of it, which allowed Ven and Bob to catch me a little bit. But yeah, I mean, the overall pace I had, it wasn't great, but I was getting into a rhythm where I can kind of keep myself consistently going.
Yeah.
And I was really sweating once Bob got behind me. And then of course the lap he got me, I touched the curb at turn 1, which I hadn't done for the hour plus before that I was racing either. So that was kind of frustrating to lose the position that way, because I feel like I was running kind of similar pace to him.
Yeah, it's funny because Clyde also gets sweaty when Bob comes up behind him, don't you, Clyde?
It's a worrying thought.
It is, yeah. Disconcerting, one might say. But yeah, I think your performance was really good tonight. You did have pace in the car. Do you auto blip or not?
Yes, I do, and I learned it maybe 5 or 6 races ago. So this was a pretty intense one for me.
Do you mean that you are properly blipping the car?
Yes, correct.
Ah, right. Okay, yeah. So that's a mega challenge that I never ever mastered. Did you ever properly blip the car, Clyde?
I hated it to start with because I thought I was slower, but once you get the hang of it, you do realise it is quicker.
Yeah. And yeah, it was something that I could never master really. So absolute respect to you for doing that. I think there's quite a lot of people that still auto blip the car and let the machine do it, as it were. So no, great result. And you must have done a whole bunch of laps around here, because you drive IndyCar a lot, don't you? Or you did?
Yeah. That's pretty much where my my history here is from. Is knowing the track from racing the Dolaris.
Yeah, I mean you can't get much different, can you? Bags full of downforce to basically none. So I've got nothing but respect for you. A transition from one car to the next like that is sometimes just unassailable, but you've managed it, and it's great watching you race. You must also have some history then, therefore, at Miami Road Course, which is where we go next.
Yeah, I haven't raced that in quite a bit actually. It's probably been a couple of years, but I do know the configuration pretty much. But you were mentioning the history and everything like that. That part of the thing with Long Beach is that compared to the Dallara cars, you could do the curbs a little differently. And okay. I think watching or just doing the line that I know and everything is good. But once I was following guys in practice and stuff like that, I noticed that you could kind of steal a little bit more curb in a couple of certain areas that would normally unsettle the car in an open wheel. There's only like 2 curbs I'm thinking of, but yeah, you got to maximize lap time anywhere you can go. So if you kind of change your or orient your configuration a little differently, that's where a few more tenths come. So I wish I had picked that up just practicing by myself, but you know, it all kind of worked out in the end, I think.
Yeah, too right. And you do learn things off other people as you race these tracks. So, and you're learning off some of the best at the minute. Anybody you'd like to have a shout out to before we let you go and celebrate your 7th place in the second race?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out my 2 teammates. I had Jamie cheerleading me for quite a bit there, kind of watching along, and I'm pretty sure he was engaging with you guys during the race as well. And of course Simon for always helping me out and keeping me kind of centered and motivated and helping out where he can. I didn't like his setup today, so I actually raced something completely different, something else in our library. So that kind of just showed that I can kind of take something else and race with it as well. So that made me pretty happy. And of course you guys for, again, taking much of your afternoon, evening time to do this and entertaining us. It'll be fun to go back and watch. And yeah, and everybody that turned up today, it was a kind of short grid, and I kind of mentally prepared for my first ever inverted second race. Just had to keep it off the track, or keep it off the wall rather, and keep it on the track, and I'm pretty sure that I was going to have it. So yeah, pretty wild one today, boys.
Yeah, but thoroughly entertaining for us, and thank you for your comments. Andrew Wood, everybody.
Have a good one, guys.
Okay, so last but not least, let's bring in Mr. Bram Dubois. Welcome to the booth.
Good evening.
Good evenings. So
Gonna be a short one.
Let's talk about luck or lack of it. So last time out, you had 0 luck at all. It didn't go much better tonight, did it?
No, not really. You figured out my my first race.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's I've been there. Sometimes you go through a spell where it doesn't matter what you do, everything goes wrong. But eventually you come out the other side, and I think you learn from it. But talk us through your race 1 and the woes that you had.
I had a quite good race with Michael. So sad he left in the second race. I had a quite good battle with him. I think we would have some back and forth, but then I will break myself a bit on the backstretch and went ever so slowly. I don't know, maybe like 10 kilometers per hour into the wall, and my wing just lifted my rear tires up the ground. And I couldn't get it going, so I had to tow to the pit, and I was like,
I think they put super glue on them tyres or something just to keep you there.
I should have put some wood plates below it so I had some traction. Because I've done it before to lift my tires off the ground and just sitting there.
Yeah, we obviously we caught it on the camera, and we like, he's going to go in a minute. He's going to get. Oh no, he's stuck.
I thought I was glued because sometimes the tire walls have the tendency to grab hold of you.
Yeah.
Then I checked from the side, and I was like, nope, the rear is lifted.
And then race 2. Where was you in race 2? You finished 9th.
Yeah, I started from the back, of course.
Yeah.
But then I got through the turn 1 shenanigans without damage. And then I was like a bit stuck behind Rob.
Yeah,
I tried some overtakes, which were the smartest.
Yeah, you had a bit of a blue on blue, didn't you?
Oh yeah, this one, yeah. Well, that's a bit my mistake as well, because I was talking about Robert Van first, which put me into the turn 1 tire wall, which then put me behind my teammate Rob. And then I he was a bit damaged. I didn't pay attention, caught up on him too quickly, he moved out of the way, and yeah. Anyway, yeah, my race was done anyway, so it's not his blame, it's more mine. But he got
Well,
quite okay.
yeah, you like I say, you.
It was not my race.
Yeah.
And then
Go on.
I need to get like sometimes like the click in my head to get out of it, because the moment you're like, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
you go like in the mood of like, okay, it's a race like this. I need to be able to get myself out.
Yeah, you. I say, I think we all go through it. But at some point, your luck changes. Unfortunately, with this season, the tracks just don't get any easier. We're at the Miami Road course next, and that place can be absolutely lethal. Have you ever done any laps there before?
No, I have to buy it.
Yeah, it's going to be a tricky one, but it's a good opportunity for someone like yourself who's going through some bad luck on track to really turn it round and pop up with a podium or something.
Yeah, maybe. Just hope some more people join in, because it was like we always had like 20 car grids. Now we had like 12, so
Yeah,
hope we get some more people back going. I know there's like some people had to do other stuff in live, of course, which always has, I think, has to go
yeah,
first.
it's going to be interesting next time out with a totally off the wall track as to how many we get, but we'll wait and see. Any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Well, I'm gonna say congrats to my team. I think Ant and Rob did both foul. Just Rob had a bit of bad luck, but he still came back quite okay, I think, sixth. You guys, of course, for hosting. And yeah, let's see everyone next week.
Excellent. Well, always a pleasure to talk to you, Bram, and I'm sure your luck will change very, very soon. Bram de Boer, everybody.
Yep, thanks. Good evening.
Right, Pete. So, interview's over. Let's get down to the important stuff.
Yes.
So, driver of the meeting. I'm going to let you go first this week.
Oh, thank you very
Because
much.
I'm totally befuddled. I've got about 5 drivers in mind at the moment.
I know, I'm similar, to be honest. I think Vincent has done well in terms of driving a car damaged in both races, but he had such pace at certain points. Simon Trendle's done a really good job in the second race of recovering all the way back to 5th after everything that went on with him and Bob Woodhouse at the start. And Woodward, 6th place in the first race and a podium finish. Can't really sniff at that, can you? That's a bit too good. And then there's some other really good individual performances. I think Andrew Wood's performance in the second race, keeping it clean, had a pole start, which can be daunting for the best of people. All right, his first race wasn't, it wasn't covered in gold, was it? But I think that was a great individual performance. I think overall, I'm going to have to give that one to Ant Woodward, though, because he's done a great job in that second race. He's avoided trouble. He's kept it clean. He's got himself a podium, and even in the first race, he stayed with Tyler and Bob Woodhouse pretty much the entire race. Put a good amount of pressure on both of them. Kept his nose clean and got himself some decent points. He's going to move up in the standings, and I think he's just done a great job this evening.
You can't argue any with that, and I think you mentioned all the drivers I had on my list. Johnny Brandon, 2 wins, but I don't vote for winners, so it's not going to Johnny. I think Tyler had a good night, as you said. Second place, 5th place. I think his 5th place is probably better. I really expected, when he was out front, that he was going to win that. So, yeah, possibly not Tyler. Ant was a good shout, but you've already voted for him, so I can't really vote for Ant. I think Vincent probably impressed me more than anybody else. A third place and a fourth place. And the other thing, and I know this shouldn't have any bearing on the vote whatsoever, but being on the other side of the world and having that high ping rate, and you have to race people differently, and probably even more differently on a tight street circuit, and I think the thing that probably swayed it in Vincent's way is qualifying performance as well, because that's not something we normally see. So yeah, I think I'm going to give my vote to Vincent Skilbeck tonight.
Yeah, well done, and a very well spent vote that is.
And I nearly gave it to Victor Tanaka then, even though he didn't race. But luckily I realised my mistake. So yeah, that is Long Beach done and dusted. And we look forward to the next visit there, because I do think the racing is good there. So coming up next time out, so TCRs are out again Wednesday. Oh God, really?
Kota.
Oh, and the GP circuit as well.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It wasn't even voted for this time.
Yeah, good luck with that one. Hopefully the TCRs, the cars and the drivers will make up for the tilkedness of the track, shall we say. Because yeah, that's not usually a very interesting track. V8, we are back on the 28th, 2 weeks time, and as we've said about 14 million times tonight, we are at the Miami road course, and I don't quite know how it's going to go, if I'm honest, but we could have 25 cars, we could have 5, we could have some fantastic racing, we could have a crash fest, but anyway, the championship has closed up a bit tonight, and it's going to be fun either way, isn't it, Pete?
It is. It's going to be a blast. I can think of all the other times that we've gone to some very strange courses, or very strange course combinations, and they've been great races, to be honest. We've proven in both our current leagues that you don't need massive grids in order to have exciting races. So I've got no fears about Miami either attracting or detracting drivers. I think it'll be a great race, and I'll enjoy broadcasting it, and I'm sure there's loads of people who enjoy watching it.
Yeah, I second your thoughts. A big thank you to the drivers that turned up. A big thank you to everybody that has watched, has commented on the chat, or is going to watch us on BSTV +1. I'm sure you'll enjoy the show. Big thanks to Simability for their continued sponsorship in the series, and a big thanks to Pete for joining me in the booth and doing your cameras. So I shall say goodnight, let Pete say goodnight, and then we'll close the broadcast. So good night, everybody. Thanks for watching, and stay safe.
Yeah, good night, everybody. Stay safe, stay out of trouble, and we will see you next time out. It's been a pleasure this evening, and we look forward to entertaining you again in 2 weeks' time for V8s and this Wednesday for TCRs. Take care.